Hey, what's up? This is UA Bass here, and you're listening to BooshFighter.
So without him, we're a little bit like naked on this.
We only have Scotty Pippen here today. There's no Jordan out there, so it's like, oh, how do we do this?
Hey, man, well, I'm pretty open-minded. I also like talking a lot too, so you can literally ask me anything, and that's really how I am.
So I mean, yeah, like the first thing we always ask is like, how'd you get into, like, first games and then like fighting game? Like, how'd you get to the fighting game path from the game?
What did you play like back in the day? Did you like start with like KI on NES or like what else was there back in the day?
Well, I have two older brothers, so they used to play fighting games a lot. They are 10 and 11 years older than me, and I always loved the gaming since I was a kid. They used to play Street Fighter 2 on our Super Nintendo, and where I live, I pretty much live in like the New York side of New Jersey. So there used to be a lot of arcades, and there was a lot of pizzerias back then with all these arcade machines. So I was really big on Street Fighter 2 and all its variations. So I started playing Street Fighter 2 in the arcades and at home, and my favorite characters back then were Ryu, Vega, and Guile. So I picked up charge characters really, really young. And I learned the concept of fighting games. I learned the inputs and stuff. And I grew up playing it. Like, I loved it. And then one day, I saw Killer Instinct in the arcade, and I'm like, oh, there's another fighting game. Like, let me try it out. And I really liked it. So I ended up buying it for the Super Nintendo, and that was pretty much my childhood right there. I played Street Fighter, I played Killer Instinct, and I also played Mortal Kombat 2, 3, and Ultimate MK3.
Nice. I think my first actual fighting game ever was KI, and I didn't own it. But before I ever had a console, like if I went to like Best Buy with my family, remember how they used to have those like Nintendos and shit in the center of the store?
Yeah,
So I'd always go there, and they always had the KI there, and I'd play that, and get whooped by like kids 5 years older than me or something. And that was basically it for me.
I mean, yeah, like for me, when it comes to fighting games, like if you started as a kid or whatever, it's because you were exposed because your friends played it or you had family members or something, things like that.
Let me ask you, because I grew up in the East Coast, and you said you played in some of the pizzerias. Did you ever run into any of the sketch arcade machines that now in the emulators they call them like Rainbow Editions, but where they were like hacked or modified, and you had like teleporting guys or like
Yes. Okay, you finally answered one of my questions that I've been thinking about for years. I went to a pizzeria once, and I picked up Ryu, and I was doing fireballs in the air, and I never saw that again. And till this day, I was just like, "How did I do that?" I specifically was doing that. Like, I know that was a real thing. I did not make that up. Thank you.
Is that what you thought Street Fighter was?
No, it's not that. It's not that I thought it was Street Fighter. It was just like I've never seen this version ever again. And I'm 27 now, and you finally answered that. So thank you.
Yeah,
you
I didn't see it a lot. I only found it like in certain pizzerias and certain malls, and yeah, the first time I saw it, like for whatever reason, the one I played on, no matter who you picked, once you lost 50% health, you always morphed into another character. So like, you better if you don't know how to play other characters, you better not get hit. And everybody had weirdo stuff like fireballs. You can steer them up and down. Like, yeah, it was very weird. It was just like.
Was that a pretty big thing there? The pizzeria arcades?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It was just like, bam, you want to slice the pizza? Oh, by the way, we have Street Fighter, we have Fatal Fury, and maybe we have Bust a Move.
Yeah, it's the good old days.
I remember like the only arcade experience I ever had was as a kid was at a pizzeria in Texas. It was like DiMaggio's Pizzas or something like that. Can't remember the name, but yeah, it was. I didn't ever see any actual arcade here besides that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of the arcades have dwindled down, and for the most part, they don't exist here anymore. But when I did go to Ultra Arcade last year, I was just like, wow, like this feels just like home all over again.
And when did Ultra Arcade? When did it open up again?
About like 1 to 2 years from now, right?
Like
Yeah, I wanna say it was like
February of like 2013, 2012, I think.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I won't lie. I was pleasantly surprised that like I wasn't sure, considering how the arcade business is doing, but Ultra Arcade's pretty thriving. It's a pretty bumping ass place too.
Oh yeah, I was there last year and I had a really really good time. And from what I've heard from Brandon and everyone else, the improvements just make it that much better. So like I really want to go back.
Yeah. Because you came back. You were here. You were here for Combo Clash last year, right? And then you'll be coming back for KI Cup, which is the end of this month, like the last weekend.
Yes,
So that's
I'm
pretty
already
cool, man.
coming.
Yeah, dude, we look forward to having you and all the other like big KI players here. Maximilian's going to be here. There's a lot of cool stuff for that weekend.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of like Street Fighter and other players, and I think the other like UA guys like Noah Brown and stuff are coming too. I think.
Oh,
That'd
okay,
be-
cool.
that'd be cool.
Is it happening like at the arcade or a different venue? Just
It's happening at a different venue.
Right. Yeah.
I'm about to say.
different.
I think at the arcade there's like a pre thing,
Yeah.
like a salty sweet. But yeah, the actual thing I don't remember the name of the venue, but it's another venue, like they said.
I'm sure it'll be open at the same time. Like I'm sure they're gonna have like a viewing party and like everything's gonna.
From what I remember, I think UA did something like that before, and at the arcade it was kind of like little side tournaments and casual and stuff, and the actual venue was like the big tournaments.
All right, so let me ask then, because I just only recently found out, maybe about like a month ago, like, oh, he's from the East Coast base, like, because I just assume like, oh, he's Ultra, like he must be from around here, and I just never ran into him. So
Dude.
yeah, like how does the sponsorship come about? Like how do you get to that path? I guess like, and maybe before that, like how do you even get back into Nuclear Instinct?
Well, hold on. Before we get to that, like, because he was explaining like his history of gaming and stuff. So how do you like transform from like where do you find Killer Instinct on Xbox One, and like how do you get into that, and how do you like grow from just playing like casually at KI? Because I'm assuming you didn't know what like the FGC was. Like how do you go from playing casual KI stuff to actually being like, oh, you know what, like I can do this, I can compete, and then oh shit, like now I'm sponsored. That's even cooler.
All right. So I knew about Justin TV. I never really tuned in back then though, and I remember when it evolved into Twitch. And when Street Fighter 4 came out, I was like, oh man, like finally, I've been waiting so long for a new Street Fighter game. And what's it called? So I start playing Street Fighter and I start playing online and I'm like, wow, this is pretty good. I feel pretty good. And then I start playing even more and I start getting like, wrecked. And I'm like, damn, like I thought I was pretty good all these years, but apparently there's people out there that are way better than me, which is good because I want that. You don't want to win all the time. So I started going to college and a lot of people love playing Street Fighter, and then Smash came out, Tatsunoko vs. Capcom came out, Marvel came out, like all these other fighting games. The fighting game boom came out, and I'm like, all right, cool. I'm meeting people, I'm meeting new friends, I'm meeting people that play fighting games at the level that I do. So I have something to do now. And then they started telling me about the community, and I'm like, wait, there's tournaments for this stuff? And it's just like, yeah, of course, it's been around for a couple of years now. And I'm like, I didn't know anything about Evo yet or things like that. So at the time, I was working full time and I was going to school full time. So I started logging into Twitch and I started following, the usual suspects, Justin Wong, Daigo, all them stuff, and then it just evolved from there. So I was a huge stream monster for years. I would always be in chats, I'd always be watching everything, and I'd be like, man, I'd give anything to compete one day, just to be there. Like I don't even care if I win or lose. So
I think it's like the fortunate thing that we've actually talked to a lot of people who had a pretty similar story about basically around the start of Street Fighter 4 when there was that huge boom of all these games coming out, and I guess a lot of people are, well, now's the perfect time to actually, take it seriously or put a lot of time into it, and especially considering all these new games coming out where people will be on equal footing.
Right. And because of that, it exposed me to the fighting game community. It also exposed me to a bunch of different fighters, a bunch of different people at different skill levels, and you learned a lot. I never felt lag on a TV until someone told me about it, and then I really paid attention to it, and I was like, wow. Because I used to play Street Fighter 4 on a 61-inch TV.
Yeah.
And do okay. My inputs were good, things like that. But then people would come over and we'd play some casuals, and they're just like, "Oh man, I'm dropping my combos." I'm like, "What do you mean?" And then, I started playing on a smaller screen, and I'm just like, "Wow, like everything's coming out even better than before." And that's how I learned about lag and input lag.
So you mostly started with, I guess, Street Fighter 4? Would you say it was like where you got most of your like early on experience?
Yeah, when it comes to real exposure, I would say Street Fighter 4. I grew up with fighting games to begin with. Like if you look behind me, I have pretty much every Capcom fighting game to come out. I still have my Capcom vs SNK. I still have Capcom Fighting Evolution. All these other great fighting games from back in the day. I just always loved fighting games. I just never knew there was a scene where people actually, hey, let's compete. Oh, look, there's an audience here. So it makes me happy that there's people out there that love what I love.
I guess fortunately the thing is that for being a completely different franchise, KI still seems like one of the ones that are closest to Street Fighter as compared to like I don't know KOF or any 3D fighter or anime fighters, basically anything like that. But if I see like KI matches or something, I can still understand like the footsies and whatnot going on. I'm
Right.
lost in the combo system, but aside from that,
Well, like again, I'm a Street Fighter player, so the way I see it, you have your, when you jump in with Ryu with a heavy kick, that's considered an opener in Killer Instinct. That's the beginning of your combo. That's really what it is. And then you have the Killer Instinct mechanics where instead of learning timing to plink or to do 1, 2, 3 frame links, if you just hit the button, it'll do an auto double. So auto double meaning your character is going to hit the other character with 2 hits. It's easy to break, obviously, because you can see it. It's going to be a 2-hit. But if you time things correctly, instead of an auto double, you can just delay it, hit the button, and you'll get a manual, which is similar to a Street Fighter 4 Link.
yeah, from what I heard, they were basically like the exact same thing as links, just different terminology.
Right,
Yeah.
correct. So instead of links, we call them manuals. And
There's a. No, go ahead.
I'm sorry. They are easier to do, honestly. Like if you try and pick up Vega in Street Fighter 4, you can tell that's a pain in the ass to master. His inputs are very, very strict. But if you play Killer Instinct, most of the inputs are actually very easy in comparison to Street Fighter.
I guess would you say it seems like I guess Street Fighter 5 timing?
You can say that.
It's not even really timing. Like the combo system is very. It's actually kind of plain at its core, and it kind of like the way he was explaining the auto doubles. It happens automatically, even though you hit one button, two hits come out. So the combo kind of builds itself. But if y'all want to check it out, it really is this really cool YouTube video that Ayers did on his channel on avoiding the puddle, and it breaks down the combo system like entirely, and it's real simple. He uses a very nice analogy to explain the combo system, and it's a sandwich. It's a sandwich is the analogy. Like you have 2 slices of bread. The beginning of the combo is your opener and your ender, and you have to just put stuff in between those 2 pieces of bread. And so
that's actually a perfect analogy. That's really what it is. And
it's pretty cool. You have to have the key is like you have to have something in the middle. Because a sandwich can't just be 2 slices of bread. Like, you can't just have an opener and an ender. Like, you have to have something in the middle. And the middle is, like, the combo part. It's very repetitive. It's just, like, meat, cheese, put some lettuce on there. Like, boom, combo. That's it.
Because by Ayers?
Yeah, dude, it's a really cool video.
No, that's cool. I didn't even know that.
Because I think that was the thing that was, like, most intimidating to me. Because I saw the game and, it looked very Street Fighter. I was like, this game looks very visually cool. Want to pick it up, but like the combo system, it's like, I don't know if I could handle that sort of guessing game about like, do I keep going and this guy's gonna counter? Like, do you have to do a counter based on what button, like strength they press, something like that? And I mean, to me, it seems like the basic principle is if you think someone can't counter that, you can kind of take a risk and keep going on with the combo, or you can play it safe and just end it early.
Right. But then
Yeah.
once you go into the deeper of the meta, for high level Killer Instinct play, you have vortex characters, you have one chance breaks. So basically, you keep the combo short. Give your opponent literally a one chance time to break it. If they don't choose to break it or guess incorrectly, you can just end your combo right there and then. Um, you have unbreakables. There's actual ways to do combos in the game where the game will register it as an unbreakable. So you do a free cash out damage. I
Are they
mean,
worth doing?
it is worth doing sometimes. If it's gonna kill your opponent, why not?
Yeah.
Uh, Things like that. Then there's also the fact that you don't have to think about in other fighting games. When you play Street Fighter or when you play any other fighting game that doesn't have a breaker system, if you're getting hit, that's it. You're getting hit. You gotta take the damage.
Yeah.
Killer Instinct, when you get hit, you have the choice. You're like, okay, here's the mind game. You look at it. You look at your opponent's resources. You're like, all right, this guy's playing. We'll say Jago, for example. Jago has pretty good damage output on his own. Like, do I really want to take this 30 to 50%, or should I try and break it? And then that's when you start thinking, if I break it, that's it. It ends his combo. We go back to neutral. If he counter breaks me, that 30 to 50% will probably rise up to 60, 65%. Like, do I want to risk that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
then you
the thing
also
that
have
freaks
to-
me out.
Right, and then you also have to think if your opponent's gonna do the same thing.
I
Well,
guess
and, like-
if you know, like, if people are playing predictably, that's where it helps to pick up on that.
Well, I
Right.
think like everything that Base said is perfect and on point, but I would think that from like a Street Fighter's perspective, like that was the whole like counter breaking thing was the last thing Base explained in his whole story. Like in order to get to that point, to even think about whether or not I'm gonna break or not break the combo, you have to play footsies. Like you have to, read the opponent, you have to adapt, you have to do the whole neutral, you have to do the whole Street Fighter bit, the whole fighting game thing, and that's like you have to do that before you can combo somebody. There are people like the Cinder player at Evo. He went through most of Evo and he never like counter braked once. He just he never tried to combo break because he was risking getting counter broken. He just risked, he just threw all the damage out there. He would just take all that damage and rely on his solid fundamentals to come.
Right, and most of Japan actually plays like that, and I really respect that because they're confident in their fundamentals to begin with. And me, I've been playing this game since release. I don't really counter break unless I force you to. Like in a situation where like, oh man, if you don't counter break this, you're gonna die. Counter breaking is always a risk, no matter what, because
Well,
you've confirmed your combo. You're starting something. Counter breaks are usually, high risk, high reward type thing. And for me, I just if I'm confirming something, I'll just let it rock for the most part.
Yeah.
I guess I don't understand because I thought counter break was just if the person tried to break a combo and guessed wrong, then they're locked out. I thought that's what a counter breaker was.
I don't know. If you guess wrong, you're on a lockout. And I believe it's about 3 seconds. The new UI actually helped a lot. Really, really love the new UI. It tells you and it shows you what you locked out on and how long you're locked out for. Season 1 didn't have that. Season 2 just implemented that maybe about a week or 2 weeks ago. When it comes to counter breaking, that's when you're on the offense and you're predicting your opponent to break the combo. So you're going to hit both mediums and you'll stop your combo and kind of just do a stance. If your opponent attempts to break while you're in that stance, a counter break happens. And you continue to do a combo and they're locked out for it.
Oh, okay. I see. Nice.
It's an offensive move, but it's a high risk, high reward type thing. Because if you go for a counter break and your opponent doesn't do anything, then they can just full punish you.
I see.
Because you're stuck there in that animation for a little while. So you can go for potentially extra, 30 to 40% damage, or risk, them not going for it, and then you take, 20, 30, whatever, get put in a mix up, reset. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I don't want to turn this into like a KI tutorial, but
Hey, man.
I mean,
I'll leave it at that.
if
Like
the
to the
game's
point.
free. Season 1 Ultra is free right now with Games of Gold if you do have Xbox. And once you load up the game, the tutorial is actually very, very good. It teaches you a lot. You're forced to pick Jago, and he's basically the Ryu of Killer Instinct.
Yeah, honestly, I was gonna pick Jago anyways.
He's very good, matchup wise, button wise. Like he's perfect, really. He really doesn't really have a losing matchup. But in those tutorials, you learn everything. You learn what openers are, you learn what linkers are, manuals, things like that. How to break shadows.
Yeah, from what I saw of the tutorial, everything seemed like it was actually really sound and some of it like high level stuff.
Right. It's really, really good.
So Base he got first at Evo. He got first at NEC 2015.
First as CEO, I got seventh at Evo.
CEO. Oh, seventh at Evo. Sorry, seventh at Evo. First at NEC. First at SCR. And I think and then second at KI Japan. How was Japan?
Japan was really good. We had two tournaments. I got fifth and first. Their fundamentals are like way higher than ours. It's really hard to hit confirm on them. Like they know how to block, they know how to defend. They're prepared for all the Vortex stuff if you do play Vortex characters. But one thing they do that we really don't do in comparison to them is shadow countering. Similar to like alpha counters.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you pay attention to the way they play, you'll see like 2 or 3 minimum a match.
Per match, that's cool.
We won't see that here, so that's something that we gotta work on.
Anything else like about their play styles or the any other traits and like anything you notice about them?
They're patient. If they have a life lead, they'll wait. They won't kill themselves. They won't take as many risks as we do, which is great because honestly that pretty much kills a lot of people when they're playing the game. It's like, I'm on the offensive. I'm gonna keep on going, and sometimes pressuring too hard will kill you. You should stop.
Yeah.
I guess that pretty much transfers from the way they play Street Fighter 4 as well.
Right. That's exactly correct. And a lot of the KI players in Japan, I believe they're anime fighters. Like they play a lot of Guilty Gear and things like that.
Does Kazunoko play?
I don't think so. No.
Okay, no. No.
I know he plays like Guilty Gear and shit like that, right?
Right.
That's why I play Guilty Gear. I feel like, I don't know, KI in itself is kind of an anime game in the way like a lot of the characters are very unique. And I play Guilty Gear too. I think, they're all the Japanese KI players are like anime players as well.
Besides, I guess like KI and Street Fighter, did you play any other games?
I played Marvel 2. I was never really, OP at it, but I really enjoyed the game. Marvel 3 was cool. I was too lazy to actually learn a lot of the high tech things. So I'd play Zero and not do Zero loops. I would just play the game the way it was. I loved Street Fighter Cross Tekken. I know, I'll probably get crucified for that one, but I really loved that game. That game
actually,
is so good.
I was like basically the biggest only proponent when that game was out.
Yeah. That game was awesome. I loved it. I love the fact that I love the little things. When you grab someone in the game, the camera would shift. I'm like, oh man, that's freaking awesome. Like I wish Street Fighter would implement it. You had the customization of the colors. You had the cool roster from both games. You had the tag team stuff you could do. Like I really loved it. It was awesome.
There was definitely a lot of I guess cool mechanics in there. The customization was a great idea until you got online and you saw your first like complete neon chrome fucking Hugo or something like that. And then God forbid he turned on gems and you're just like having a seizure at that point.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the one thing that was a cool concept but no one really used it was I'm trying to remember the thing where you would sacrifice your first guy. You had like 10
Pandora.
Pandora.
Like, yeah, Pandora. It was a cool concept, but obviously, no one really used it because it's like you got 10 seconds or less, or you'll die. And it's like, all right, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, aside from the bad business press that Capcom had early on, I mean, I even liked Vanilla, even though it definitely had a lot of problems. The patch, like the 2013 version, I thought was great, but it's pretty much too little, too late.
Right. I agree with that. It fixed a lot of the infinites. It fixed the fact that rolling on wake up was great. Instead, it was a free punish in version 2013. It was, it was a lot of good adjustments, but the game was probably doomed by then.
Yeah, I gotta ask, is the Abe probably knows I'm gonna ask, but you ever play KOF?
The only real KOF experience I had was when I heavily played Capcom versus SNK 2. Other than that, I never really sat down and played a KOF game. But a lot of my friends here in New Jersey do play KOF. You know that they're all KOF heads. So anytime I go to their place, that's all they're playing. So they're really really souped up for the new one that's coming out, despite the trolling of the graphics and all that other things.
When did CVS 2 come out? Y'all know?
Was that 2001, 2002? A long, long time ago.
Yeah, it was the Millennium game, right? Yeah, like 2000.
It's that one game that I hear is like, fucking
2001.
amazing, and almost everyone played it. I
2001.
unfortunately, yeah, came in too late to ever get to experience that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you can ever get your hands on the game or a copy of the game, definitely play it. Like, it's aged really well, in my opinion. Like, it's still really, really fun to play.
It is, but it's kind of like one of those things. Like, I guess in our city, like KOF or Tekken, like the pretty much the only people that play it are the ones who've been playing it for so long. And anyone who wants to play CVS 2 with you is probably going to kick your ass if you have not been playing it for a long time.
No, I agree. That probably sums it up for over here, too. I'm like 5 minutes away from New York City, so if I ever go over there and be like, hey, you want to play Capcom vs. SNK? They're like, all right, we'll pick Blanca Sagat and someone else and just, destroy you. Yeah, I've played a lot of fighting games growing up. For Tekken, the only Tekken game I really really loved was Tekken Tag 1. Like, I freaking loved that game. That game was so good. Soul Calibur 2, of course, that was like my jam. I used to play Keelik and Link. I had the GameCube version. I still have it.
Sure, I remember Tag 1. That and Metal Gear Solid were like the two games that made me want to get a PlayStation.
Dude. Tag 1, I played, I'm trying to remember. I think I played Lee and Eddie Gordo, and not button mash. I was actually,
Don't fucking lie. You got those fingers on the kick buttons, man.
And then, what else? Smash. I've been playing Smash Brothers since Smash 64. I have Smash 1, Melee, Brawl, and Wii U.
Did anyone ever play Bloody Roar?
Is that where they transformed into animals?
My friend had it.
Yes.
I thought it was really, really cool, but I never owned it.
I only ever saw demos of it.
They need to bring that back.
Yeah, that game was pretty intense. But then, Dead or Alive, my ex-girlfriend really loved that game, so anytime she came over, she'd bring it over. And then my best friend played Virtual Fighter for a while. I wasn't really a fan of that one.
Game's hard.
Yeah.
The game is fucking hard.
Yeah, it was super hard, and a lot of the character designs are kind of generic to me, I guess.
You calling the Street Fighter player calling character designs generic?
Well, I mean, come on. Like, there was a guy that was basically like Ryu, and I saw him. I was like, all right, well, this guy's gonna be easy. Akira, I think was his name, and fuck, that guy was like insanely difficult.
He's not easy, Akira.
He's not. He's one of the more technical ones.
Yeah, pick some Jackie in your life,
I picked Jackie. Yeah. So what time, I guess, did you just, when KI came out, you kind of like instantly gravitate towards it?
Yeah, it was a mix of things, really. Obviously I was sticking with Street Fighter for pretty much the most part. Even when Ultra came out, I'm a Guy main, so I play Guy.
Good man.
Yeah, I used to mess around with a lot of other characters too. So I used to play Ryu. I used to play Makoto, Cody, Seth. I just really love Street Fighter, so it was a lot of fun. But when Ultra first came out, I was on Xbox 360, and the online was pretty bad when it first came out. I was waiting for players mid-match almost all the time, and I'm just like, dude, like, that arcade edition didn't do that, so I don't understand what's going on. Around that time, Xbox One had just dropped, and Killer Instinct was a launch title. When I first saw the trailer and I saw, Max's reaction to it on his YouTube, I wasn't as hyped as he was. I was just like, oh, that's kind of cool, they're bringing back Killer Instinct. That's awesome. And I would see the gameplay, and I'm like, all right, it looks kind of fun. Like, maybe I'll try it. Maybe. So Xbox One came out, and I downloaded Killer Instinct, and I was supposed to play Battlefield with my friends that day. I ended up playing Killer Instinct for like 7 hours. As soon as I did the dojo, I started playing online, and I couldn't stop. I was like, wow, this game's really fun. Like, every character I've used is so much fun to use. And the netcode was perfect. Like, I've never played a game with such great netcode. I was just like, yo, like, It's like someone's right next to me.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I've heard people just universally people don't play it. Even if netcode is easily probably the best fighting game netcode that's been made.
Right. I can probably agree with that since I've been exposed to a lot of fighting games out there. You know, it's not Mortal Kombat X. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Like the only
But,
another netcode that I played that came close was I think Tag 2 or Tekken Tag 2.
I've actually never played it.
The netcode on that was when I played it, like it felt like you're basically playing the person next to you as well. Like it almost felt like offline matches. Like you could consistently low parry shit and
Nice.
whiff punish and do like not footsies but Tekken-ish shit.
That's cool, man.
Tekken Tag 2 is real good, and Persona is also real good online. So,
I actually thought the KOF 13 netcode was great. Kioma apparently thought it was garbage, but
wait, you have to emphasize. You said on PC. Most of us didn't.
Oh
play
yeah,
on
yeah,
PC.
not the not the console one. The PC one, I thought it had a amazing netcode, but yeah, the console one's just garbage.
Because most of us played it on console, and it was horrendous.
I think it was kind of like that cross Tekken thing, too little, too late, and who the fuck plays on PC anyways?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, PC Master Race, and I've never really had one till just now. I was always a console guy.
I've been waiting for KI to come out to the PC. I mean, I already told Brandon I'd pick it up then.
Yeah, that should be coming out, I believe, in March with Season 3.
Yeah, they just confirmed something yesterday. A link came out or whatever. It's gonna come out in March. It's gonna have Tusk and Kim Woo, and Tusk and Kim Woo got confirmed. There's gonna be more than just that. And then what was the last thing?
Yeah.
Oh, you have to have Windows 10 though. If you're gonna get on PC, you have to have Windows 10.
Yeah, Windows 10. There's gonna be Rash is already confirmed, and there's one more guest character. They
I
haven't.
thought Rash was already in there.
Nah, he was
Not
there
in it.
as
Not,
like a beta
not
character.
completely.
Yeah.
Was that I guess was that like a demo copy that Brandon had or something?
No,
No,
that
no.
was
He
they released
was
him for a
literally
month,
available.
but he wasn't complete.
Right.
Oh,
he
okay.
was available to the audience for about a month. And I don't know if the glitch is still there, but if you go to practice mode and hit random, you can get lucky and play Rash.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool. Huh.
Yeah, I don't know if they took that out because we've had a couple of patches since then, but if it's still there, then there you go. You can play Rash.
Who do you want as a guest character?
Honestly, like I don't really care about guest characters, but if someone were to ask me, people keep saying Master Chief, people keep saying like the guy from Years of War and stuff, Joanna Dark. I'm like, dude, if you're gonna play a Halo character, put in like an elite or put in the new guy from Halo 5. The general, that guy was dope. I like that guy.
Harvey,
God, Master Chief and what fucking
Harvey-
Marcus Phoenix is like the worst two guest characters I could think of.
I mean, to each their own. A lot of people, I can see it, being a great marketing plan. So that's awesome. Oh my God, Master Chiefs and Killer Instinct, I'd pick it up. Things like that. But if someone were to ask me, I'd put in like if you ever play Halo 5, the general, the new Promethean boss, he's awesome. I like that guy. That guy's cool.
Chief is a little too high profile. You can put something else in there.
Hey, you never know, man. We got Cloud and Bayonetta and Smash. Anything's possible, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, I forgot about that fucking Bayonetta.
And Ryu's there too, of all people.
Oh yeah.
And we use there too. You're absolutely right. After seeing that, I'm just like, dude, like anything's possible. It's crazy.
Yeah, we got Leatherface now in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, Leatherface, Alien, things like that. Just please, like, don't give me Fat Mega Man again, because I'll probably, hang myself after.
Not Fat Mega Man. He was a secondary, all right.
Wait, so like when did Spinal happen though? Like when did you say, oh yeah, this like skeleton thing is too hype, I have to do this?
Okay, so obviously, I grew up with Killer Instinct. At home, I'd always play Spinal or Riptor, and for some reason, anytime I was in an arcade, I would either pick Spinal or Glacius.
Mhm.
And I'm like, wow, these are my favorite characters. So when Killer Instinct dropped, they were like, okay, we have 8 playable characters, but for DLC, you have Spinal in January, and then you have Fulgor in like March.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh man, I gotta wait. Whatever, I'll wait. It's fine. So I played everybody, and I loved everyone for the most part. But I really stuck with Jago a lot. Glacius, he was much different. He was pretty rushed down back in KI 1 and 2.
He was busted season 1.
Yeah, he was.
He was
But
top.
just me,
Well,
like-
at launch, he was top. After that, like it kind of settled down. But man, he's still pretty good for a zoner. Whatever, fuck that
I was
character.
about to say he's like
Right.
a zoning character, right?
He's a great zoner, man.
He's a
He does
great
so much
zoner,
damage.
and he's a great zoner, and he could do full combos from full screen. You know, Dalsim wishes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say like the one person you reminded me of was Dulcim, except for the fact that I don't know, it looked like he had like spikes from the ground or something that he would just combo off of, or I
Yeah,
don't know.
those spikes are unblockable. If you're on that spike, you're getting hit. You can't block those.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's really cool. But yeah, I thought Glacius was cool, but I didn't really stick with him. I was like, wow, Jago. You know, I never really stuck to a Shoto like that, but Jago's really fun, and I played him for the most part for all of season 1 until January hit, and that's when Spinal came out. And I remember that day. I had to go to work, but I was like, hey, I got 30 minutes to go into practice mode, and I checked out his ultra, I checked out his moves, and I'm like, all right, I dig him. He's kind of cool. And I started practicing him.
I think it's weird with characters like Jago or, like you said, Shoto's Ryu and whatnot, that if you're used to playing like a lot of, I guess, wacky-ish characters, like you said, you play main guy and Gokin and a lot of kind of weird characters for a long time in Street Fighter. And I finally, I started having a lot of fun playing, like, Ryu as being the most boring character, because that was, like, the new wacky to me, I guess.
Right. I mean, you know, he's. You have a point. You know, we wacky characters that, you know, have different mechanics. But then when you play someone as solid as Ryu or Jago, you know, getting that hit confirm, you know, beating that one guy playing this one guy with crazy mobility and things like that, it just feels good. Well, for me, it does. I'm like, man, like I just pulled that off.
Yeah, that was exactly the appeal of Ryu to me.
Right. So yeah, Jago was cool, and then Spinal came out. Then I started playing Spinal a lot, and then once Fulgore dropped, the Xbox One got the Twitch update where you can start streaming from your console. So I was like, hey, you know, worst case scenario, no one watches, right? I'm still gonna play the game. So I started playing, and my first day, you know, I had like 3 people watching. They were like my best friends. They were, you know, making retarded, inappropriate jokes in chat, you know, things like that. We're just messing around. And then second day, bam, 200 viewers. I'm like, whoa. And then, you know, we had people from the West Coast, you know, we have Texas, we have East Coast, everyone's watching. And I'm just like, all right, I'm kind of nervous, but whatever, we'll just play. And then people started asking for sets. You know, let's play some sets. Let's do this. First to 10, first to that. And I was getting wrecked. I was like, damn, like, you know, Spinal's brand new. I don't really know what I'm doing with him. But I started learning from my mistakes, you know, like, oh, you know, teleport's grabbable, oh, okay, you know, oh, that's punish, all right, you know, things like that. But people started watching a lot because I was one of the few Spinal players that used to stream, and you know, I finished college already. I was already working in like a part-time gig, so I had more free time. So East Coast Throwdown was coming up, and it was like 5 minutes away from my house, and I'm like, hey, you know what? It's been a while. Let me go to a tournament. Let me just go. And I signed up, and I went 0-2 because I was an online warrior, and I didn't realize that offline had a crazy time difference. Like when it comes to combos.
Manuals and combos, and
Yeah. You know, like I'll do a hit confirm, and then I'll try to do a manual, which is similar to a link in Street Fighter, and instead I'll just teleport away. And everyone's just like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I can't get my combos to work." So. Tournament experience, you know, play some casuals first, get used to the monitors, things like that. But I met a lot of people, you know, I met a lot of the people that I still talk to today. You have people like, you know, Shen Tristan, T-Swag, all them guys. And right after that, I was invited to that major before Combo Breaker. What was it, UFGT? That's what it was?
Not too sure.
Ultimate Fighting Game Championship.
Right.
Yeah.
I was invited to that, but I couldn't go. I was actually going to be out of the country for like a month. When I came back, I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to take another risk. I'm going to EVO for the first time. I've been wanting to go since like 2010 or even before that. So I went to EVO last year, and I ended up getting 25th for KI.
Nice.
And yeah, I was just like, wow, like, I can't believe
You
I
out of
did.
your pool, right? Did you make it? I mean, you made it out of your pool?
I made it out of pools. I made
Yeah,
it,
you
I
made
made it out of pools against in losers. My first match was actually Hitbox Tyrant, the other reigning Spinal. So it was
Yeah.
classic West Coast East Coast to start up Evo, right? So I got 25th, and while I was there, I met a lot of the Microsoft guys. I met Keats, I met Isgreen, I met all these people, and all these like fans started coming. Like, oh hey, I watch you on stream. I'm like, really? Okay, sure. And it was outside of my comfort zone, but I fell in love. I fell in love with the scene. I fell in love with everything, and I was like, I really want to keep doing this. So,
would you still say, I guess, a bulk of your experience came from online play, or did it kind of just shift to after that just tourney play?
Most of it came from online, but the mentality and the confidence came from offline and tournament play. But I used to get nerves. I remember that. I was just like, damn, man, like, why am I nervous? Like, I'm just gonna play a game. We're good. And the more and more I was exposed to streams, and the more and more I was exposed to a bigger crowd, the more and more I soaked it all in. I'm just like, you know what? I really like this attention. I actually play better when people are behind me.
Did you ever? I'm guessing you didn't go to a lot of majors before KI.
I couldn't at the time. Lots of personal problems. So I was restricted on money and time. So I actually couldn't go anywhere, which is why I would always just sacrifice the little time I had to be like, hey, you know what? CEO's on, Evo's on. I'm going to stay at home all 3 days and watch it because that's the only way I can support the FGC for now.
Yeah, it is, I guess, a thing as far as, you can get all your gameplay, matchup experience and whatnot, but, being in a tournament and, you never really have that pressure of you in online play where if you lose, it's nothing big, but, if you travel and put in a lot of money, learning to do pressure is just something you have to travel to get.
Right. And, it motivated me to do more. Once I got a 25th place at Evo, I was just like, wow, like that was my first time doing that. Maybe I can do better if I actually keep on going with this. So speaking of Evo, I might as well mention Brandon. That's when I met him.
Yeah.
I was in the KI suite along with the Microsoft guys and all the other big guys, and Brandon comes in. And he's like, hey, I have a monitor. You want me to bring one? And everyone's like, yeah, sure. So I was just sitting there. I didn't really know anyone. So he just looks at me. He's like, hey, you want to help me carry stuff? And I'm like, sure. And
that sounds like Brandon.
Yeah. that was the first introduction.
Yeah, that sounds like
basically, I go to his room, this big, tall Viking guy. I'm like, I don't know if he's going to slip me a molly or something, but whatever. I trust it. So I go to his room. He makes me carry a bunch of stuff, and then whatever. We're all hanging out. And then we start talking. He's like, hey, man, I'm Brandon. I'm like, hey, I'm Ken. And they're like, oh, is this your first Evo, this and that? And I'm like, yeah, my second tournament ever, pretty much. Because I did go to a regional a couple of years back for Cross Tekken. I made top 8 for that. A lot of people don't know about that one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Who'd you play in Cross Tekken?
Before the DLC, I played Vega Kazuya. After the DLC, I dropped Vega and I picked up Guy Kazuya. Right, so I met Brandon. He's overall one of the nicest guys I've ever met, and we hung out every now and then because he'd do his thing, I'd do my own thing. I wasn't really his friend, I was just pretty much an acquaintance. After the 25th place reveal, he came up to me and he just like, hey man, congratulations. I'm doing a KI invite only tournament in December at my arcade, and I'm like, oh okay, that's cool. He's like, you should come, you're invited, and I'm like, hey, if it's invite only, then I gotta show up, right? So, we became friends right there. We exchanged numbers, and I ended up going to Ultra Arcade last year. And we kept in contact. And while I was at Ultra Arcade, I met a lot of the UA guys. I met Roger. Roger's one of my closer friends now. I met David. I met so many people. I met J-Mart, and J-Mart invited me to KIT. So all this networking happened as soon as I met Brandon and all the other guys at Evo. Just constant people just like, hey, man, what are you up to now? Hey, you want to go to this tournament? Blah, blah, et cetera, et cetera. I got really cool with Brandon and everyone else at UA, and then I started going to majors on my own. I'm like, you know what? I did good at Combo Clash. I got my first top 8. I have money saved up just in case because, I missed out on so much of my life back then. I might as well try and catch up. Let me do things that I want to do. So I started using my money to go to tournaments. So I went to Combo Clash on my own. I went to KIT on my own. I went to Apex. I went to Winter Brawl. I went to Final Round. All out of pocket. That's me. But the more and more that happened, the more people I met, the more fans I got, or friends rather, and I started placing even better and better. I met Rico. I met CD Junior, and it was just taking off for me. and I'm like, you know what, I'm not making much money. I'm actually losing a lot of money doing this, but instead of seeing it that way, I'm gaining my life back. I'm being happy again. I'm doing what I love, and I'm thinking of it as like a vacation, really. And my biggest accomplishment back then was when I went to Winter Brawl. I had to play all the top guys. Like my pool was pretty stacked, and then I ended up being top 8 winners, and then I had to play CD Junior, who was a reigning Evo champ at the time, and I sent them to losers. So super confidence level. I had for the first time ever, I had the crowd, chanting my name and stuff, and I'm just like, wow, man, like I can't believe I'm really doing this. And from then on, I was just more motivated to take things more seriously.
And I don't think there's any way you can beat an Evo champ and not, feel pretty good about it.
Right. And then, he tweeted me out on Twitter on top of that, and I'm just like, wow, man, like this is a real dream come true. And a lot of people probably don't think it's a big deal, but I was just like, dude, this is something. Like, I can't believe I'm taking all this as a risk, but hopefully it'll pay off in the end. So right after final round, I ended up going back to Texas. I went to Texas Showdown, and Brandon was there. It was all hosted by Ultra Arcade. Brandon was there, Roger was there, all the Texas guys. Shout outs to you guys. I love you guys. And
I think I was unfortunately asleep there.
Right before the tournament started, Brandon gave me a big hug. He's like, dude, I've been watching you for a while. He's like, win this and I'll sponsor you. And I'm just like, I'm like, shut up. And he's just like, I swear on my life. And I'm just like,
that was Absolute Battle? Oh, Texas Showdown.
Texas Showdown.
Oh, okay.
So I went. I made it to grand finals and winners. I beat My God. And there you go. I became Ultra Arcade. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I was remembering because My God's another UA player, so I was wondering if it was kind of, I don't know if you've talked to him a lot or if it was a similar situation for him.
At the time, he was still repping C88. He wasn't UA yet. We picked him up at Evo this year, actually.
Yeah.
Didn't, am I mistaken, did My God get to like top 3 or something?
My God has been ferocious when it comes to Saberwolf. He got top 8 at FLG last year.
Like 5th, right?
Yeah.
He got like 5th. Yeah.
He also got 5th like last year at Evo. He got another 5th this year at Evo. Like he's definitely one of the best, if not the best, Saberwolves out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do specifically recall like seeing you two like constantly up there,
Yeah. So like when I made it to Texas Showdown, that's the first thing Brandon said. He's like, My God's here, right? And I'm just like, yes, finally get to play him in person. Because I did meet him at Combo Clash, but I didn't get to play him at all. But we were kind of like online friends back then. He'd always be like, hey, man, you want to play me in a set at like 4 a.m? I'm like, sure, why not? And we never really said much. We just, said everything through our gameplay. And he became a fan even back then. He's just like, hey, man, you're my favorite Spinal player. And I'm like, really? Like, you, out of all people, are saying that to me? Like I really respected a lot of these guys, and I still do.
Yeah, I was wondering if he like came back when you said like in the early days when people were just saying like let's run sets or something. If you met him back then,
he came up to me maybe like last November or last October. He's like, hey man, you're pretty good. Were you at Evo? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I saw you there. I was just a nobody. But he's just like, hey man, you want to play some more? And I'm like, sure. And I used to give him comp, and I couldn't believe it. I'm like, wow, I'm actually giving this guy a hard time, and that's an unfavorable matchup for Spinal, in my opinion. But
Saberwolf?
Yeah, Saberwolf has better footsies and normals overall. You just frame trap me all day, and Spinal doesn't really have a wake up.
It's hard for Spinal. The wake up part is like really, really hard. Spinal can like kind of control the space with his buttons. Like are still all right, but I mean you really have to think about it as far as like the whiff punishing and all that goes. It's tricky.
Yeah.
I won't lie, Spinal kind of confuses me, but he looks badass. So
yeah, he's very vortex heavy. He's also he's a setup character, but he's also momentum based, similar to Guy. So once that momentum's gone, it's over.
Born in the corner.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Guy has his wake up Tatsu, but Spinal doesn't have that.
he's got no reversals.
Nah, 'cause if you wake up on teleport, you can either option select or just grab him because teleport isn't grab invulnerable. And when it comes to all of his shadow or EX moves, you can just hit him out of all of it or just block.
Yeah,
Like if you
always
like if you like if you wake up shadow teleport, that always makes you go on the reverse side. So once you see that happen, you just block the other way. It's a free punish every time.
yeah.
One thing I didn't get, and sorry for asking like another rookie ass question, but
Oh no, dude.
what is the shadow mode like? Is it because to me it
So
seemed like it was like a V trigger or something?
shadow moves are literally the equivalent to EX moves in Street Fighter. They take up meter and they mostly all hit 5 times. It's literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you do a shadow Endokyuken, which is a shadow Hadouken with Jago, when you block, it hits 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For the most part, all shadow moves in the game do that, except for some.
Yeah.
Are there EX moves as well? Or
But that's what it is.
Well, that's what
Okay.
they are. They're the equivalent. Yeah, they're the
Okay.
equivalent pretty much. Yeah.
Right.
They just like add damage or other properties, but for the most part, they all hit 5 times, and that's because of like the shadow counter and other ways to punish those kinds of moves.
I
Right.
think the thing I was thinking of, if this is right, is there like instinct mode?
Yes, Instinct is similar to V Trigger in Street Fighter V.
Yeah, I think that's what I was thinking of.
Right. So Instinct, just like Street Fighter V, you'll have every character has its own, I guess, attribute.
Unique. They're all kind of unique to the character and their playstyle.
Correct. Right.
Yeah.
So you have Jago, who has the ability to throw double fireballs, and if they do hit, you gain life back. Right. It's pretty cool. You have
Where's,
Saberwolf, who does chip damage. He can also pretty much FADC, and he
Anything.
gains like a 10% damage boost on top of that. It's pretty broken.
Yeah, I
actually.
do remember. I think I was watching. I think I was watching My God or something, a stream, and like they mentioned it was like FADC or something where it could cancel the
Marcus,
special
can you
damage.
like, as a Street Fighter, I'm sure you can comprehend this. Saberwolf in Instinct mode can FADC anything.
Yeah, even if you whiff.
Anything that he
Even if
does,
you
he can
whiff.
FADC. Yeah, even if it whiffs, he can FADC it.
Yeah, it's
Does
pretty
it cost like time on the like? I
No.
see instinct mode is time based.
No, you just have to hit 2 buttons. Like I did.
Yeah, so you hit the 2 buttons, and there's cooldown in between the FADCs. But honestly,
Yeah,
when
that's-
you're playing Wolf, by the time you frame trap your opponent and they're done blocking, the cooldown's done.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
Oh, okay, nice. I think I got it now.
Yeah, but everyone has their own attributes, and it's really cool. A lot
What's
of the instincts.
Glacius's?
Glacius gets super armor. He gets 1 hit of armor, I believe, 5 times. So like it regenerates 5 times if he loses it over time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's really good. It makes him really scary. Like once he activates, my opinion is to either run away or just block for a bit because there's no point.
Yeah.
He can just eat up something because the super armor, unlike Aghanos, it actually works in the air as well.
Go
All the
ahead.
instinct modes based on like a time limit. Like you activate it and got like 5 seconds or something.
Yeah, they
Well,
all last like, I think it's 20 seconds.
Yeah, they all drain pretty much very, very slowly. Some people can actually prolong that. Like if you do Jago's around the world combo, he gains it back a little bit. If you do Shadow Fireball with Spinal, you actually steal away your opponent's instinct. And once you land a curse with Spinal, they actually stack. So the more curses, the more you drain. Sometimes you'll actually be gaining instinct while using it if you have that many curses on your opponent.
Yeah, that's the point. I don't know if like I've done it on occasion once, but like Base is fucking notorious of it. Instinct is only supposed to last like 20 seconds. I've seen him make it last like 30, 35 seconds. Some people can do it like even longer if your opponent just doesn't know, but yeah, he just stays in that powered up state for so long. It's ridiculous.
Right. So Spinal's attribute when it comes to instinct, it was nerfed because it was pretty OP back then. Now
You think he deserved that? I don't think he deserved that.
me coming from a Spinal player, I don't think he deserved the hardcore like you only gain 1 skull, but I do think the 5 was too much.
Yeah, because I think even most players back in the day when they got 5 weren't completely competent enough to use them all appropriately. But like, I think 1 is too much of a nerf. 3 would have been fine, but
I mean, give or take, you have the season 2 buffs where anytime you do a green attack, you gain a free skull anyway. So you should always have skulls to begin with.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
coming from a guy player, Spinal has the ability to run cancel. So basically, what you do is if you have a skull available, you hit a normal, and if your opponent blocks it, you could just tap forward and make it safe.
It's kind of like a run stop.
Yes, but much safer than guys.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Is it
really
like
good.
plus
Like,
on block or something? I don't know if they run off traditional frame data
Yeah, he
like
can
that, but
combo with it. He can combo with it. Like on hit, he can do like extended combos with it as well.
right, and in Spinal's Instinct, one of his attributes is he gets +2 frames on everything.
like plus 2 frames of block stone, or
Just +2 frame advantage, so your moves come
oh,
out
okay,
quicker, everything. That also goes for
nice.
Jago and Shadow Jago as well.
Yeah.
That's with the instinct mode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Spinal's Instinct mode is he gets +2 frame advantage, and he regenerates a skull every like 1 second, 1.5 seconds.
Wait, what's the deal with Shadow Jago? Because I thought he was a unique character at first, but apparently he wasn't. But now they're making him a unique character. Have they
Okay,
already done
so
that?
yes, Shadow Jago is now a real character. Before he was exclusive via code or via Xbox One year promotion, or when they sold him after Evo for like a 2 week period. He was literally just a skin for Jago, but the Microsoft Studios did a community fund, and we saved up so much that not only did we fund CEO and Evo and a bunch of other big tournaments, we had so much left over. So they used that to make Shadow Jago and a unique character. So he's pretty much he's kind of like Akuma, but not really. Actually, not at all. To be
Is he
honest,
like?
he's
Is
very
he
very different in comparison to Jago.
Yeah.
okay? So he's not just like the Ken of
Oh no, he's 100%
or like
different. He basically has Demon Flip. He has Raging Demon. He has Fireballs. He can teleport. He can teleport in the air. He has a lot of stuff that's very very different. Even his normals are different too.
would you
But
say
his
he's better than
damage
regular Jago?
output is very
No,
very
definitely not. Definitely not better than regular Jago.
yeah. I mean, if
Would
you
you
ever
like-
see Rico Suave play, you'll be impressed. I actually
I
have a
saw
video.
your. I watched your video today actually because Base just added a new playlist to his channel. I think it's called like Rough Sets or something. But
Yeah.
he's got some matches with him and like Rico Suave on there, and they're pretty cool. It was like Rico Suave was doing like it was like some day 2 or 3 like Shadow Jago stuff, and it was really cool. But like my sentiments about Shadow Jago were along the same lines as his. Like he's okay. He's not going to be as amazing as like some of the other top ones, but he's he's okay. He's solid. Like he's got some crazy stuff. If you can like
Yeah.
master it all, he's got some crazy
His-
stuff. Like, some
Yeah,
good-
his attributes for himself, even without instinct, is when he has meter, he can use a chunk of the meter instead of the whole thing to do a surge move. So it adds an extra attribute to his regular moves. So basically, if you throw a fireball with him and then press the same button, he'll do a second fireball, literally similar to Goken's.
Oh shit!
Yeah. Or if he does a slide and you press the same kick button, he'll just teleport and he'll slide behind you instead. So it's a mix-up. But most of these things are all unsafe, unblock.
yeah, you just have to know they're coming or like react to them properly. And you can punish them.
Right.
On a quick random note, but Greg, I think you were there because I remember Rico being at UA like a year ago or something. Were you there at the same time?
Yeah,
'Cause I'm
I was
almost
there.
positive. I'm almost positive he came down for a KI thing.
Yeah,
And
it was
I
it
played
was the
him.
same combo clash as last year. The three outsiders were myself, Rico, and CD Junior.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I got
that
to
makes
play
sense.
a quick set with him there, and that was cool. And then I ran into him at Evo this year when they were having like the KI Salty Sweet thing, so that was pretty cool too.
Didn't he used to play Saberwolf or T-Hawk or something? Or Thunder?
He does play Thunder. He did play Saberwolf at Evo Grand Finals last year. In my opinion, he is the best current Thunder and Fulgore player for sure.
Yeah, he's pretty solid.
Has he been playing full gore lately?
No, he's actually been playing Shadow Jago since its release. And when you do play, if you ever do stop by and check out that video, I was playing for real. I wasn't messing around with him. I played
it was some
Cinder,
cool-
I played
it was some
Jago,
cool
and I played
stuff.
Spinal, and he was kicking my ass, man. It was good stuff.
Yeah, he was doing some neat stuff. God, Shadow Jago's Vortex is really good. Like when you can apply the meter and like all the tactics properly, and like the way he was juggling you to cash out the damage. Like that's the point, you gotta mix up your juggles and cash out that damage to get like a quick like 30-40% or something, and then like set them back up for something else. Like that
Yeah,
was really, it was
so
really
in
cool.
comparison to So Jago's similar to Ryu, straightforward damage, hard hitter, but he also
Yeah.
has instincts where he can throw double fireballs and stuff and gain his life back. Shadow Jago, his damage output's very, very low, but he's very mixed up and vortex heavy. And if his walk speed is very, very fast because his dash isn't similar to the traditional dashes in all of KI. When you dash, he basically teleports, so you're committed to it. But you can interrupt the dash and grab.
Are regular
it's a big
dashes
mind
you don't
game.
have to commit to them?
No, but like
Can you
what he's saying
can
is
you like block cancel or something dashes?
Well, more like when you dash with a traditional character, so we'll say Jago or Thunder and stuff. It's a traditional dash like in Street Fighter. But Shadow Jago's, it starts up and then you teleport and then it's pretty long.
it's like Slayers in Guilty Gear or like Bison's in SF5. Like he teleports.
Oh,
his dash
okay, I
his
see.
dash is his dash is a teleport.
Right. So you can pretty much punish it if you can anticipate it.
Oh, okay, I see.
Right. So when playing footsie, you don't really want a raw dash. You could just use your really really fast walk speed and just close the distance with that.
But I think one of the things I noticed with Rico is when he was playing Thunder, and it seems like Thunder is kind of close to. Brandon showed me a little bit of Thunder. He's kind of close to Abel in Street Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I can say that when it comes to his instinct, because his instinct gives him a teleport dash, so you could do a lot of frame traps, dash, and then similar to the Marcellus roll.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
think
pretty much right.
I pretty much based it just off the fact that he has command grab and Rekkas. So
Yeah, Thunder. There's an echo. Thunder's crazy because he's still the heaviest hitter in the game, in my opinion. And whether you land a command grab or a command grab ender, he has a 50-50 setup as soon as you jump in. It's deadly, really. So if you don't block the right way, say goodbye to like 30 to maybe even 70%.
Yeah.
oh shit.
Yeah, because one counter breaker with him, you're losing like 80% for sure, with no meter.
Yeah. I mean, all the season 1 characters are like that, but him especially, it's ridiculous how much damage that character does.
That was going to be my last character question, but how is Omen in there?
The Japanese scene put him in top 5. The U.S.
Really?
don't at all, but he's pretty good. He has pretty good footsie, pretty good normals. His fireballs come out at random, so that's kind of weird. He has a floaty jump though, and he is the only character in the game that has 3 full meters. Everyone else has 2.
Yeah, like he gains meter and loses it like just as fast as any other character in the game does, but he has 3. Everybody else is limited to only 2 bars of meter. So
Right, and all of his
Pretty cool.
enders, including his damage ender, give him meter anyway.
I think I talked to Greg. I think I talked to you about Omen and the fact that like his fireballs are random. I actually went and looked up an example, and like he can fire like 1, 2, or 3 at the same time, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Depending on the strength of the fireball you're using.
And
And
each
then-
one of those like comes out in a different path respect, or it can come
Yeah, like
out
you
in
got,
one
like,
of
you know,
13 different paths respectively.
There's like Medusa head pattern, like super fast one, like slow one.
Yeah,
I mean, it
there's
seems like it kind of works both to your advantage
some
and
some of them
disadvantage.
some of them home actually, and then the one that's unfortunate is the dud, where it just goes straight to the ground and dies.
Some of that stuff, like I don't know, that's just the point with him is to pay attention to what fireballs come out and just act accordingly. But I think the coolest one, and I think it's Rico Suave has like a really good Omen, or someone, one of those, or CD Junior, like one of those guys has a really good Omen. He
It's
uses it.
definitely it's Rico, and then the guy played in Japan. His name is
Okay.
Osamatsu.
Yeah.
If Omen has you in the corner, good luck, because that's all one chance, 30-40% damage.
The one fireball I like in that corner situation is there's one that when he launches it, it falls straight to the ground and then it slowly starts crawling across the ground towards the opponent.
Yeah,
That one's really nasty when you're in the
and
corner.
it hits low if you're not blocking low.
It hits no if you're not blocking. It just accelerates so slowly, and he can just kind of do whatever he wants at that point. If he reads you right and everything like works together, it's awesome.
Yeah, the good thing about Omen is his grab starts a combo basically if you're in the corner. So you could do a grab, which is an easy like maybe 15-20%, hit him with a manual, and if your opponent guesses wrong, bam, one chance break, end it. You get your meter back because he gets meter, and then that's an easy 20-30%, and then rinse and repeat. Keep on going. Pressure, poke a little bit. If you grab, your opponent doesn't tech it, bam, do it again.
I'll say one thing I noticed is that when I watch like high level play, it does seem like there's a good amount of character variety. Would y'all say that the game is pretty balanced?
Yes. One of the main things that attracted me to Killer Instinct is that the entire roster is viable in comparison to other fighting games. You know, you play Marvel 2 at high level, you see the same 4 or 5 characters. You play Third Strike, if you're not using Ken or Yun, you know, good luck. But you play Killer Instinct, you pick anyone, and it's just like, damn, this guy can actually win a major with this guy.
Yo, we need to get Elena as that guest character in Killer Inks. All right.
Nah, man.
No,
If you think her healing's annoying, then play a good Jago, man.
Yeah.
Does it actually like provide a significant factor for him, like the healing off the fireballs?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
He can
Yes.
he can get 2 life bars back, maybe even 3. It's crazy.
Well, like the fact his life gaining depends on the instinct mode, and the instinct mode is a comeback mechanic, and you get your comeback mechanic by losing health. So since he can regenerate health, he can effectively build a second or possibly even third instinct mode in a
Right.
match, and just
Or,
keep getting health, health back over and over and over.
With the
Right.
healing, if you lost a round and you lost a health bar, like can he retroactively get that health bar back?
Oh no,
Nope.
I'd probably kill myself if that was true.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, man, that's fucking bullshit. I'll
But-
take Elena.
But Jago, because he does the double fireballs and they come out the way you press the button. So if you do a low double fireball, it's 2 slow moving fireballs, so you can move behind it, and then you can go for a mix up. Or fireballs are unbreakable in the game. You can't break projectiles in the game. So what you can do is you could do like an opener double fireball, and then if the fireballs hit, you can cash it out with like a shadow shoryuken. And not only do you gain your life back, but you're also cashing out the damage because the game registers a fireball as a linker, which is part of your meat of your sandwich.
Yes.
And then you'll do a shadow ender, and the game will be like, oh, okay, the combo's over, and you'll cash it out for free. And it'll be considered an unbreakable because you can't break projectiles in the game.
Oh, nice.
Right. Spinal could do it too. So can Fulgor, Aganos, a lot of characters that have projectiles.
Yeah, that was one of the things when I talked to Brandon and Greg before. It was just as far as character variety, that having a balanced game and being able to pick who you really want to is a huge sell to me.
Yeah.
Like the only other game I've noticed like that is Tekken, where there are tiers, but there's no like 6-4, 7-3 matchups in Tekken, and you always see a huge variety in the finals for them.
Yeah. When it comes to KI, your worst matchup is possibly a 6-4. Period. What was I gonna say? A lot of the characters, they have their attributes, and then you also have instinct that helps you a lot. Most of the instincts in the game are deadly. You have to be careful. Like even some of the most useless instincts, like you can possibly think of, like in the hands of a good player, it's just like, oh man, I really gotta respect it.
Well, like I play Orchid, and like part of like being a good Orchid player is that you have to use 2 instincts per match, like period. If you don't use that second one, you're kind of out of luck. You're gonna have to work a little extra harder, than you would like to. The job can still be done, but especially if you're down on the life lead, and you don't have that second one, it's gonna be
Right.
really tough.
So
But-
Orchid in the community, a lot of people think she's bottom tier, but
she's
she is really good. She has great normals. She has her grenade setups, so you're forced to block. And if you're in block stun, you have a free overhead or a free low. And then when you have instinct mode, you can summon those cats. So you can do all that grenade pressure along with the cats to make all of your things safe. Your opponent's forced to block everything. And
The
if
only
your
way
opponent-
to effectively silence like an Orchid player's pressure, and I'm kind of scared to say this, is to shadow counter her. A lot of her stuff is actually easily shadow counterable. So like if you want to beat someone who's really nasty with this Orchid, just find the right spots to shadow counter.
Right. As long as they're not an instinct, though, because once your shadow counter does fall through, the Orchid player could just react to that and just summon a cat, and the cat will interrupt it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you
her
still
instinct's
playing
really good.
Cinder, Greg?
I play Cinder. I was watching Base's Cinder earlier because I was taking notes. His Cinder's pretty solid too, but
Thank you.
I like Cinder. He's not amazing. Like I said, like we were saying, like the list is pretty balanced, so he's not amazing, but he's not terrible. either, but he is a lot of work. That is a character you have to put some work into if you really want to
Yeah.
excel.
So he also doesn't have crazy damage, but he also doesn't have great footsies either. His standing medium kick is pretty much the best one, but he has a lot of good tools. You have your target combos. You have your bombs, so you could do like bomb pressure. You could interrupt your target combo, throw a bomb at someone. You could bait out shadow counters that way. If there's a bomb stuck to your opponent and you grab them, you can interrupt the grab and launch them with a bomb and then start an air combo. And he has a lot of things that add white health or potential damage, similar to Street Fighter.
Oh, like ray damage. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So he can add that up pretty quickly, and then his little combos that really don't do much because you have so much white health. You could do like a 5-6 hit combo and it'll do 99% if you allow the white damage to stack up.
Yeah, he's actually a really effective character, like doing chip damage. I mean, when I play him, I try to throw in like a lot of chip damage here and there, just to build up that white health, and then land a very short combo and cash it out easily with no meter for like 20-25%, something like that.
Right. And then
Yeah, I
you
don't
also have the Domi thing that you saw at Evo. He has the
Yeah, the
unbreakable
loop.
juggle thing because again, projectiles are unbreakable. So in a similar setup, you could flash kick someone, and if they have a bomb, detonate it, and then just keep detonating the bombs while juggling them, and then cash it out with a shadow flash kick, which is the damage ender for him.
Yeah, I remember y'all mentioned, I don't remember the name, that there was a player who did really well with him at Evo.
Yeah, Domi.
Domi's the guy that beat me at Evo. He sent me home.
Yeah, that was a really hype fucking match.
That was crazy, man. I
And
got my
I
run
almost thought-
back. I got my run back at Japan.
Yeah. You beat him, right? Because you got second, and then the Rip Roar player got first.
There was 2 tournaments. I got 5th in the first one. I lost to the Ripter and the Omen, and then the second tournament I got first, and both times I 3-0'd Domi. I also had learned
Oh,
how to
wow.
play Cinder back then.
Yeah.
I always thought
That's cool.
Cinder
Okay.
looked cool, but I guess he had like
Does
a
look
trait
cool, man.
where he has like the fire on him like kind of dissipates and he's weaker or something at some point.
Oh no,
and
no.
it like
So
turns off and on.
yeah, so if you wait a couple of seconds, he'll get fired up, and that adds an extra attribute to all of his special moves. And when you're in instinct, you're always fired up.
So do you have to like have a couple of seconds of like non-activity in order for it to fire up?
Um,
Or
No,
is it just-
no
no,
matter
it just,
like,
no,
does it
no
just
matter
no
what,
matter
it
what?
just fires up.
yeah, no matter what happens in the game, as soon as you use a move that like eliminates his fired up state, 8 seconds from that point, he'll get fired up again, no matter what happens.
Right, that is correct.
But it's not like, I guess, being fired up is not completely integral to his gameplay.
It's not, but it does help a lot because it gives you more to work with.
I mean, it's not like Hakan oil, if you know what I mean there.
Okay.
No,
yeah, right. No, it's not like
it's not that he's not that heavily reliant on it.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing about it is it adds more variety to the character, and that's kind of the point, is just to have as much variety to your combos as possible. End them quickly to get that like burn damage and build up that white health, and then do it again.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And then he also has the Trailblazing. So it's similar to John Talbane in Darkstalkers. It's words out of Keats' mouth. That's the way they got
Oh,
it.
cool.
Yeah. So Trailblazer is the thing they used to do in KI1 where he just like transforms into that lava thing and he just like dashes at you. If you do a low one, he'll go up and diagonal. If you do medium, he'll go straight into you. And if you do heavy, he'll jump up in the air and then do an overhead, which hits twice. But because it hits twice, it's pretty easy to shadow counter. But what you can do is after the first Trailblazer, you can cancel it and do another one, pressing any kick button in any direction. So it's a complete guess to break that.
What's Shouter counter?
Shadow counter is
It's
similar
like-
to alpha counter.
Like an
Is
alpha
it like-
counter.
yeah, as I figured, alpha counter.
So like
It's an alpha counter that you can combo off of, pretty much.
Yes.
If you
Yeah.
land it correctly, you can combo into it and then do damage, whatever.
Yeah, it's really good. Obviously, it takes a bar to do, but totally worth it for punish.
It's like those vanilla cross tech and alpha counters. Tag in and
Yeah, but just even better than that. It's a guaranteed combo.
It's a
For the most
guaranteed
part.
combo afterwards. So who do you think is top in KI if you had to pick like a top 3 or top 5 or something?
When it comes to
Like
the actual roster,
those few characters that do stick out a little bit more than the rest, yeah.
okay, so everyone's top 5 is different. Everyone unanimously agrees that Fulgore is the best character in the game, though. That's safe to say.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna get crucified for this, but I have my reasons. I play the character. I do not put Spinal in top 5. Instead, he was top 5. Don't get me wrong. He was top 5 when he had the 5 skulls. He was
Yeah, at
that was
one point,
pretty
yeah.
that was pretty broken. And then his crouching HP was very, very good. But then they nerfed the hitbox on that, so it's not so dependent anymore.
Yeah.
And again, he doesn't really have a wake up. So once you shift the momentum into your favor, or you just end every combo in a hard knockdown, you just overwhelm him, and it's good games right there. My top 5 is Fulgore, definitely number 1, even with all his nerfs. Like, he's still the best. And then in no particular order, I think Saber Wolf, Khan Ra, Maya, and TJ Combo are up there.
Yep. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
TJ Combo, really? I don't think I've ever seen anyone play TJ Combo in like any matches I've seen.
And then when it comes to like a really, really high mid, definitely Spinal, definitely Jago, definitely Sadira.
Yeah, he's. I think I agree with Base. That's pretty much my top 5. That's pretty much it. TJ Combo, like no one's played him that effectively in a long time. There's still a few players that do. Like Dizzy stopped playing MK, and Thrash Heavy still plays, and his TJ Combo's pretty good. But I think TJ Combo's really good because in the beginning, like he was the premier character for KI Season 2, and like they built him for the new system, for the new engine, for the new everything. He was like one of the first characters to have like recapture,
Right.
and all that. So I mean, that's why he's still like really solid, I believe. I mean, outside of the fact that like he's got great buttons, he's got great fucking buttons, and he just gets in. All of his moves, 95, 98% of his moves move him forward. Like he just gets in.
Yeah. He has really good buttons. He can cancel his power line, which is similar to Balrog's dash punch, into anything really. So you can like start it up, and you could be like, your opponent's gonna be like, okay, what is he gonna do? Is he gonna fake me out? Is he gonna punch me? Is he gonna roll? Is he gonna cancel it and then do tremor, like crazy stuff? And then he has a mechanic for himself called auto barrage. So basically, it starts off as an auto double, but you can mix it up every button. So instead of doing a heavy auto double, which is 2 heavy punches, 2 heavy hits, you can cancel the second hit and go into a light, and then a medium, and then it's a complete guessing game from there. If he ends it correctly after doing all 6 buttons, that damage is like 50% easy. If you decide to end it early and not press all 6 buttons, it's a safe reset. He's plus. And then you continue doing your shenanigans from there. It's really good. He has a command grab. He has recapture. He has really, really good damage output. And if he has you in the corner, then good luck, man. That's all I gotta say. And then his instinct also speeds up his mobility. I think he gets plus frames too. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, I think he's one of the other ones you forgot to mention earlier. Yeah, he also gets plus frames during his instinct mode. So better frame traps, better everything.
And then not only that, but if he doesn't use his instinct in round 2 and he dies, he basically resurrects just like Gil from Street Fighter 3. And he resurrects with the plus frame advantage, things like that. It's really good.
Greg, if you had like more KI questions specifically.
I do have one. We were on the subject of TJ Combo. I don't think he needed to get as hard a hit as he did either. Like the auto barrage, like how each punch had its own unique animation, and then they just made him the same. Like, and then the way they added the streaks to the different strength on Tremor. Like, I don't know. I think everybody has their own like opinions and everything, but I think him and Spinal were the 2 characters. I don't think they needed to get hit as hard as they did.
Well, TJ, a lot of people were complaining, but honestly, like if he did play at high level, he was pretty brain dead for a really long time because he didn't play KI. You do your one chance breaks into a wall splat, and then you guess all over again, and the damage would stack up because he's not like Shadow Jago. He'll do like 40-50% period all the time, and then if you did the tremor without the streaks in the corner, you had to guess which one it was. You didn't. There was
Oh,
no.
in the corner, yeah. Okay, that
Yeah,
makes sense.
that's actually the biggest reason why they added the streaks because of the corner.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
But then at the same time, you have to realize that it was noted as a buff nerf because you're playing Killer Instinct, and when you played TJ Combo at high level back then, you didn't really have to counter break because you're always on the offensive, and it didn't matter because you do a one chance break, your opponent most likely would guess wrong anyway, and you'll get your free 50, 60% all the time.
Yeah.
Now, he got his nerfs, but he also got his buffs. So when you're
You got
doing the auto
the-
barrage, you're automatically committed to it. But like I said, you now have the frame advantage under. So
Yeah.
if you can actually manual off of that. You could do a medium or light, but the timing's a little strict. So even if you do mess it up and your opponent blocks it, it's a free reset for you again.
Right.
And then you also
Uh,
have the streaks now, right? So it's easier to break him, but it's that's the mentality of the game. If your opponent
exactly.
is easy to break, it's also easy to counter break.
Right. Yeah, and that's why everything's balanced. Yeah, that's cool.
Right. Yep.
And then what are your what do you want to see in season 3? Like any like mechanics or characters? Any like changes to the system?
Honestly, I wanted some kind of tweak to the combo breaking system, and instead I got a UI change, and that really pretty much summed up a lot of the things that are gonna help for the meta in the game. Because now you have people like to guest break, and it's really annoying. It turns off a lot of the pro players from like other games. But now that you have a system that indicates, hey, you locked out on heavy this time, and then your opponent keeps doing the same combo, and you keep locking out on heavy, you're like, okay, this guy keeps pressing the same button. Maybe I should change it up. Things like that. So the mind game is definitely still there, but you now have indications as to, okay, my opponent keeps doing this setup, so I should work out on this. Oh, look, my opponent is now locked out for 3-4 seconds, but now it actually shows you on the screen how long they're locked out for. So you can do max damage combos without worrying, oh shit, I wonder how long I have left to finish this. Now you actually are shown that.
Yeah.
I didn't want any new mechanics personally, but new mechanic was introduced with Shadow Jago. Season 3 will now have a stagger effect, and it's pretty cool so far. Kind of like it. It's interesting.
Which stag? Are you talking about like on his slide?
Oh,
Or
no.
on the overhead?
His overhead X kick.
The overhead, yeah.
And
Yeah,
his dive kick.
he can combo it into itself several times.
You could combo into it in itself several times. You could do any linker after that as a manual. So like the stagger is so long, you can do a slide and it could be either light, medium, or heavy, and you can't tell the difference unless you pay attention to Shadow Jago's like grunt. Killer Instinct's very audio heavy when it comes to things like that. There's so many audio cues that helps you break the game, break your character. So like, for example, if you're playing Orchid and she does a slide, she'll say coming through in 3 different pitches depending on what button you're pressing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you hear a certain pitch, you're like, oh, it's heavy, and you can just break it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So very, very audio dependent. But Stagger's introduced. I think it's kind of cool for now. I wonder what other season 3 characters will have it. Not sure what they're going to do about the grabbing part, because you can grab someone while they're in Stagger. I don't know if that was intended or not, but that's why
Does
we
it
have Shadow
combo?
Jago right now.
It combos, right? Does it combo?
Yes, that does combo.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool stuff. Season 3 looks promising. I like the UI change. It helps a lot. And Stagger's cool effect. It looks cool too. It looks similar to when Ken used to do his Tatsu in Street Fighter 3, and like the person would like turn over.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like.
Yeah.
I guess if I had one more KI question, it would be, since you came from Street Fighter specifically, if you had, any tips beyond just playing for people who are, coming from a Street Fighter background and picking the game up.
The way combos work, very similar. It does have its traditional KI thing, auto doubles, breakers, things like that. But it's very, very easy to pick up, actually. It's the reason why I played so long that first night. I'm like, wow, I'm picking all this up. It's pretty good. It's pretty fun. Definitely one of the easier games to pick up. I'm pretty sure Iron Galaxy and Double Helix intended that.
I call it
It's
Street Fighter Junior, Marcus. I don't know if you ever heard me say that
Yeah,
around UA. I call it Street Fighter Junior.
yeah, I
yeah,
remember you saying that.
yeah. So like it feels right. It feels just like that. Actually, that was my impression when I first played Street Fighter Five at Evo this year. They had the setups there, and it was finally my turn to play, and I'm like, holy crap, this game feels like Killer Instinct but Street Fighter. It's weird.
Yeah, it is.
It's awesome. Like if it's really smooth, you have your V triggers now, so it's awesome. It's the best of both worlds.
I mean, I guess
But
you would say that Street Fighter, like the same sort of fundamentals, like footsies with punishing, obviously anti-airs and whatnot, are basically just about as prevalent in that game as well.
yes, 100%.
Yes. If not even more so, because like every combo can get broken out of. You can break out of the damage. Your opponent can always break out of themselves getting damaged, getting punished, so you have to like punish every chance you get and be on top of it.
And then to answer questions for the Street Fighter players, a lot of people, I've talked to a lot of people in tournament, and they say that the breaking system does turn them off because they want guaranteed damage, and that doesn't happen in this game. But in transition from Season 1 to Season 2, Iron Galaxy did change the damage output on footsies. You can out-footsie someone, and you can pretty much take a whole life bar away.
I will say, I mean, I like it better than the way it is in Mortal Kombat. Whereas, I mean, it does obviously take a good amount of meter in that game, but at the same time, it's like you basically might as well just use it as soon as you can. Like, there's no risk.
Yeah. Well, and that game isn't heavily reliant on footsies either. It's more like the way you start your pressure in that game is like with the special moves. That's kind of the special move kind of starts your pressure in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I don't want to.
And it's
definitely
more
closer to a Street Fighter.
Yeah, and in Killer Instinct and Street Fighter, it's more like, hey, oh, you whiffed this? All right, let me punish this real quick. And even if you don't start a combo, the way damage factors in that game, on a whiff punish alone, just playing footsies, it's an easy like 10-15% sometimes, maybe even more.
I guess that's kind of reminds me of Cross Tekken, that footsies were especially deadly in that game, just of the, tag out possibilities.
Right. And a lot of the community, they'll joke and they'll be like, there's no footsies in KI. But honestly, like if you play someone who actually has footsies and you're not trolling around, like you will get beat. You got to respect it. So like a good Jago player, it's dangerous. He has good buttons. He has similar footsies to Ryu in a sense. But, his damage output's really good even without meter. With meter, it's even better. And then he has the ability to regen health.
Well, that is actually a very reassuring thing, that if you put the time to learn it, then it's still useful in that context.
Right, of course. It's not like, I've never played Mortal Kombat, but I've seen it played. You can't just rush in on someone and expect someone to get hit. Like, no. Like,
yeah.
It's more Street Fighter.
I don't want to go on a rate-filled tirade on Mortal Kombat right now. But yeah, it's not a footsie game.
All right, real quick. It looks like it was answered already in the chat, but Chris was asking, how does online matchmaking work? Like, and it looks like it was answered, like, it's not based on skill. Sometimes you get high, sometimes you get low. Is that the case, or is there, like...
They tried to change the ranking system online from Season 1 to Season 2. The one thing I don't like about it is that you can't D-rank. It's impossible to D-rank. So once you make it to top rank, that's it. You're automatically always considered top rank. So it sucks because even the mediocre players can make it there, and then bam, you're stuck with people like us. In Season 1, though, it was a little more hardcore, but honestly, it's the way I liked it. Season 1, in order to get max rank from level 39 to level 40, you would have to play everyone in your rank or near that and win every game. Because if you lost, it was pretty much even worse than Street Fighter's like BP system. If you lost like 2 or 3 games as top rank to someone who was like a level 35 or something, you'd lose your rank. But then you would have to play another 300-400 games to get it back. But
Season 1 was pretty rigorous.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it better because it gave more of a challenge, I guess. 'Cause I'm like, damn, I don't want to lose this. But then Season 2, it's like, oh, I lost, okay, because you can never D-rank. That's just how the system is at the moment.
Yeah, and it only matches you. Oh no, it'll match you with people that are lower than your rank as well.
Right.
You can still get, but at the if you are in the highest rank, which is killer, and you play against another killer, the matches are 2 out of 3.
Yeah, that's something
Otherwise,
that
it's
I
just one
really,
match.
really like.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And then you also have your exhibition mode, you have your lobby, you have spectator mode, things like that. The one thing that I'm hoping for season 3, that's what I want. I want online training. That'd be great.
That would be cool. Something like something to like train while you wait, or their their lab, like their practice mode is pretty efficient. But if there could be like better ways, or just more options to set up other things, that would be cool. And then I think that like an easy way to make any fighting game like more fun or just have more longevity to it is to just add hundreds of accessories, just like all the colors, all the like add-ons and things like that. And like they've done a pretty good job so far. But if they just gave us like a shitload more colors and like swords for Spinal and like different shields and all this crap, like that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I mean,
That was one of my favorite things about Tekken, as petty
Yeah,
as it was,
Tekken.
but the millions of customization options he had on there.
Yeah, Tekken.
well, for
Like,
PC people, I'm pretty sure we'll see some cool mods and stuff. Some Deadpool Jagos and things like that eventually. Um,
oh, that would make sense. Jago does have the two swords, right?
well, he
Yeah.
has one, but I can see people
Oh,
doing
okay.
that. I was gonna say something, I completely forgot. Damn.
Abe, you have any questions since you?
About 5. Well, I mean, have you played the beta yet? And so, any thoughts on it? Have you played it through all 3 phases? As it's been getting, some people jokingly call it Nerf Fighter. Like,
I have not, unfortunately. I don't have a PS4 yet, and I don't think I'm gonna reserve for PC. I'll probably invest in a PS4 very soon. The last time I really sat down and played it was at I would say Evo. I played like 2 games at SCR, but I wouldn't count that. I don't know what I was doing. But I really like it. I like the way it feels. I like everything about it. I am in a bunch of forums and stuff for Street Fighter, and I do respect what Alex Vai's been saying for a while. It's annoying seeing Street Fighter 4 players say, "Hey, the game is too easy," but I'm like, dude, like if the game's too easy, why are you losing? I mean, it's really what it is. It's backwards mentality. Like you just sound like a sore loser. I like the way everything looks. I like how everything's playing out. Yeah, they're doing Nerf Fighter, whatever. But honestly, like it's all beta, right? It's not the final release yet. People are taking information as it comes. From what I've seen, some of the things look silly. You start up with Zangief, you jump in the air, you have a free command grab. That's kind of funny for now. But obviously, like they'll probably fix that, things like that. Again, I like the way the game moves. I like the fact that one frame links are gone, so it's more accessible. It's more about playing the game rather than execution.
That has been a point of like contention for some of us, because I mean, I guess I mentioned like I play Guy as well as like Abel, Gen, a lot of characters who kind of rely on one frame links.
Correct.
And I guess maybe it's petty. I'm kind of tired of having to do that. I just I learned to deal with it just because I really like those characters.
Right.
But at the same time, like there's some characters where they'll have one frame links to optimize stuff, and I think that's all perfectly fine. That's how it should be. Like if you can make this hard link, then you should get better damage. But there's some characters where they're pretty much reliant on you have to be able to do this one frame link, or you can't play this character at a high level.
Right. Similar to I guess Vega or even Gen. And
yeah, like especially Vega, like the jab and strong are all one frame links.
Yeah, if you can't do that, then don't even play Vega, and that's what I like. It brings up more competition. Really, it's not more of a like, oh well, I can press better, I can execute things better than you. It's more like, hey, now I have more people to play and challenge me. It's really what it is. It's another way of growing the scene, and I really respect that a lot.
Like one character specifically who's pretty much completely relying on it is Abel. I mean, yeah, you can make some good work. If you can't hit the step kick link, you can still make good rushdown reads and whatnot. But at the end of the day, he's a footsie character, and if you can't hit that link, you can't really play that character.
But yeah, I do like the fact that they took that out. I also really like that you can't chip kill anymore unless you have a super. I think that's pretty awesome.
I like that too.
I do like that. I do have my apprehensions just based on the fact that sometimes, like I've seen some matches where both players are afraid to get in, and they're both at 0 health. So you get those draw game timeouts where they're both
similar
at,
to the cross Tekken days.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see that happening too, I guess. But in the long run, I don't know. I don't think that's gonna happen. But
to me, if there was a compromise, I would say no chip deaths on wake up, but like in the neutral game, it'd be fine. But the way it is, I'm still fine with it.
Yeah. I mean, it was an interesting thing when they announced it. It's even better watching it now. I don't know. It's more like pressure. It's like, hey, even though you have a massive life lead, what if you can't land a hit in the next 60 seconds and I can? Now come back.
Yeah, that is true, and it does like kind of create some hype in that sense.
Right. That's the way I see it. I'm like, hey, this guy has a 70% life lead and now I'm about to die. But if I can play really, really well, he can't kill me unless he lands a hit or chip me with his super. Like, what if I can make this comeback?
And I think, especially, being able to land the super to chip at any point is definitely fair because it's an expensive, unless it's the last round. But, even at that point, you still earned it.
Right. You earned it, and even then, what if you whiff it? Things like that. All these factors come to mind when a certain scenario happens. But I like the adjustment that they did.
I will say it does make, even though most people don't save up supers for this purpose, and for like most people or most characters didn't really get a lot of use of saving up for their super, aside from, I don't know, Gen, Yun, a couple characters that really used it, but aside from that, most people just used it for EX moves and that was it.
Right. So it brings more usage to the meter in general and to the said character.
Exactly, and there's a compromise. You can, viably save it up and wait for this, or
It's gonna help people either play differently or expand the fact that this character could do this now or this. You have different options now in playing this character in certain scenarios, etc., rather than sticking to the same game plan because this already worked. Now it's just like now you have options. Now you could do this or you could choose to do that, etc.
Is there any, I guess, characters in particular that you've been looking at or interested in?
100% Vega. Like he's back, and I don't have to really do one frame links anymore. I can actually play him without trying to kill my fingers. Karen's back, so I'm psyched for that. Been waiting for Karen since Alpha 3, and my boy
Oh,
Alex.
you're one of those guys, huh?
My boy Alex is back. He was my favorite Third Strike character. Period. So I'm excited to see what he looks like. Just don't make him fat. I hate
I know
the fact
Brandon's
that
pretty excited too.
Um,
Brandon's a huge Alex fan. I know he's finally going to take Street Fighter up with them.
I think Charlie's kind of cool. I hate that everyone calls him Nash. Like he'll always be Charlie to me. I think Ken is dope though. Like something about him this time around. I really like him.
Is it because he has Under Armour now?
It could be that, or it could be the fact that he has banana hair. But
Are you one of the few people that like his visual design?
yeah, I actually really like it. Man
Join
bun
the
and
club,
all.
man. I like it too.
Yeah.
He looks really cool, but I mean, he's going to be a lot of work, right? I mean, he's one of those characters you're going to have to really put a lot of time into to be effective at like a high level, right?
Most likely.
I think early on in the beta he was pretty strong, and he just got nerfed pretty hard in the last like beta 3. But I figure by the time he comes out, they're gonna balance him to make him pretty much just as good as anyone else. Like I do see a lot of potential in him, and as a guy player, like the whole run, mechanic definitely appealed to me.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I like that.
And so you said you are looking forward to Vega. Do you any thoughts on the non-charts?
The non, I didn't even know what that is.
Well, I mean, he doesn't have charge moves anymore.
Oh yeah, non-charge. I do find it interesting. It's gonna be weird because obviously Vega's always been a charge character. It's gonna take a lot of time to get used to. That's for sure. Because I've been playing Vega since Street Fighter 2, so it's just like, hey, I don't have to charge anymore. It's all circle motions now, and he has a command grab, so I think that's kind of cool too.
Do you like that it's command? We do have a Vega player, and I know he was actually pretty pissed that it went from charge to command.
No, I mean I've never had that problem executing. There's some people that can't play. I guess quarter circle moves. A lot of people play charge characters because that's the only character they can play. I've never had that problem, so it doesn't matter to me. It's just I'm gonna have to get used to it because it's just so weird thinking that Vega's no longer a charge character.
I think the way he saw it, because he plays plenty of like command characters, and he's a good player. I know it's not that. I think in his mind, the way he perceives it is that it makes the character easier and kind of cheapens the value of playing him.
Nah, I mean mentality like that's gonna have to go. It's a new game. The game is supposed to, bring more players, make the crowd bigger. You want more competition anyway. You don't want to play the same people. And we get it. Street Fighter is a big game, but that's what they're doing. They want the game to be even bigger than what it was.
And I definitely feel like with the standpoint and business model, whatever that they're taking, that they're trying to go for exactly that.
Right. So a lot of people honestly like it's just every game really because KI it's not all perfect. There's a lot of people that complain like literally every day. But that's what every community does. People have their complainers, and it's just like you guys got to go, man. Just keep an open mind and see what you can do.
Base, are there any other characters you might want to see in Street Fighter 5? I don't know if you put a lot of like Third Strike, or any of the older games. Maybe Eagle. Put Eagle in SF5.
It'll be a dream come true, but one can only hope. But if you bring back Skullomania or Shadow Geist,
right.
I will have a baby this year. I'll just find someone and be like, you.
Baby.
Give me Volcano Rosso. Fine. If you get Skullomania,
God damn it. That was such a disappointment. I thought you were going to say Guy. I thought we had a connection, man.
I mean, obviously, of course, I would love Guy back. But if you're talking like characters that you really, really don't expect, Skullomania or Shadow Geist, please come back into my life. But of course, Guy. I want Guy back.
I don't recognize Shadow who?
Shadow Geist and Skullomania are Street Fighter EX characters.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah, I think the thing is like those characters are owned by different companies, so
yeah, they are. That's why they're not going to get in.
Yeah, it's the Marvel contract.
But if Capcom wants to like really break my heart and bring back Fat Mega Man, then I'm gonna be like, really, bro, really? Give me a Mega Man.
Come on.
You gotta get Fat Skullomania, dog.
That better be like the Evo, pre-game reveal right there.
I mean. Dude, okay, so I don't play Birdie, but I always thought Birdie was cool. It really annoys me that he's fat. It's just like, why'd you do that?
It shows growth, though. I like that because some people, because at least he changed. Like to me, Geef at least as a character he changed, and I like that. But I hated the fact that he showed up looking exactly the same. I'm like, even my boy Sim. Dowsum, he looks completely different.
Sim got that beard though.
Hell yeah! Dude.
Actually, yeah, I really like Sim's new redesign. That's like the first time I ever thought. I thought that's the first time I actually thought, man, Sim actually looks like someone I'd pick up. Like a cool character.
But Geef looks like like I'm immortal. I don't change, and I also don't change clothes. Like everything.
Yeah, but Birdie, like in his Japanese voice actor, he sounds like Scooby Doo every time he throws a banana. And I can't get that out of my head. Like anytime he laughs, it's like Raggy. I'm like, oh man, like I have to say English voices.
Now that was the thing. I think we mentioned before was like when they, Ryu classic design. Of course, it's Ryu. You got to have the flagship character, looking recognizable. But when they revealed Ken, I was like, oh shit, like Ken looks different. It looks fucking badass now. He's got that Witcher Geralt haircut and whatever the jumpsuit. Hopefully they kind of redesign a lot of these characters. Aside from the fact that Chun-Li still had that corny ass, Street Fighter 2 outfit. But then the rest came out pretty much exactly the same, like Geef,
Armika.
Yeah, there's more examples and whatnot, but yeah, like Geef was like one of the most disappointing, definitely.
Yeah, I think Ryu's the only one who should have stayed the same, and then everyone else, keep evolving.
Yeah, like a lot of franchises like Mortal Kombat, that's one of the things I did like about them is that they kept the design, faithful to the original, but still kind of, changed up a little bit.
Yeah. The most impressive thing MK did to me in terms of design was I love how if you go, the old days, all the ninjas were just colors, color clones. And yeah, now they're all different from Ermac to Noob to everybody, Reptile. They all look tremendously different with only Sub-Zero and Scorpion having some, similarities.
Yeah.
Well, when they do bring back Alex, just keep the long hair, man. Don't give me like
he's bald now.
Some Yamcha hair because that's how I feel about that.
He's bald now. He got a tat in the middle of his chest.
Are you kidding?
He's fat too. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh come on.
Him and Birdie, they work that Dunkin'
He's fat, but he
Donuts.
wears his overalls like Hagar. I'm like, all right. I'm done.
I feel like Alex is one of those characters going to be a redesign, but I'm wondering if they're going to do that for Guile.
Don't touch
Going
him
to take
either.
that.
Don't touch
I mean,
him
that
either.
hair is so iconic, but what
Give
are they
give
gonna
God
do?
that Team Liquid like track suit sweater or something.
Just for the do. Just for the
Just
do.
for the he's permanently with glasses, so you can't take them off. Everyone's mad.
Aw. He won't play him no more. Then.
Hey, man, I still say that's going to be vid trigger, all right? Puts on the glasses.
You're right, though. That would be a thing.
There's
Or-
not even any bonuses. It just, you put on the glasses.
It's the worst waste of meter. It's like-
But it is interesting to see that Jury's back and a bunch of other people. Hopefully they get redesigned too. It'd be interesting.
yeah. I'm all for the redesign.
I was glad and a little bit surprised because I thought they were going to put at least one of the new characters they put in 4 as part of the original cast. But, wait for the DLC. But at least they're putting them in. I figured if there was any candidates, I would have preferred Jury, Viper, and Abel. Like, please no more Fuerte.
Or Rufus. No more Rufus, please. We're
Nor,
done.
yeah.
Damn, you really don't like the fatties.
Nah, me, dude. Rufus is cool, but Rufus was around for a while, man. High level and all. You have all of EG. You have EG Rufus basically for
Yeah.
a while, and like it's just cool that Jury's back. I was surprised. Who else is back? Dudley too, right? Was it Dudley?
Nah,
No, not Dudley.
Balrog.
Yeah.
Balrog.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, he's cool. No Sagat. That's questionable.
Hey,
Alright.
Tekken's getting Akuma. We're going to get Bob, all right?
Yeah, we traded. We traded elite players.
We're getting ogre. We're getting true ogre because we hate fat people, right?
Nah, I think it was like a 3-way trade. I think Mortal Kombat got ogre. They just called him. I forgot that.
Kotal
character's
Khan?
name. Yeah, they called him that.
That's what that looks like. You're right.
I did think that. At the same time, I did think Kotal Khan was like one of the coolest new designs I had, at least.
I thought Ferrothor was kind of cool. I don't know why. It could be weird.
Actually, I thought pretty much all the new character designs, like Aaron Black. Wasn't really a fan of like the Teen Titans, like the kids. What was the kid? Cassie Cage,
Oh, yeah,
Kung
yeah,
Jin. Like the kid military force. I don't know. Aside from them, like the rest of the new characters, like Devora, she's fucking weird, but still kind of a cool, interesting design.
That's funny though. I've never heard that. Teen Titan, Mortal Kombat characters.
I guess one last thing on something that you mentioned as far as it being a new game, where I've been kind of saying that too is in the sense that when 4 came out, pretty much everyone hated 4. And I remember at least, saying this game's super scrubby and it doesn't have any of the good things from Third Strike. And I've heard kind of a lot of similar things about that going into 5, whereas they think that whatever was in 4 that's what Street Fighter is now, where it's really just Street Fighter 4.
I agree with that. It's the same thing too. It's just people are scared of change, man. Like even outside of gaming, you're gonna have to keep an open mindset for what's to come. A lot of people are gonna try to do focus attacks and stuff when they first play, but it's a new game. You have to realize that. That's it. We had what? Street Fighter 4 came out in 2008, 2009.
08.
Oh wait, yeah.
Came out like late 08.
Oh wait, right? 8 years of the same fighting game, right? It's time to change it up. We need it. We want it. Maybe some people didn't want it, but it's just what it is. Nothing's gonna stay the same for forever.
The great poet Owen Hart once said, "Enough is enough, and it's time for a change."
I guess a lot of people, good percentage of the people who are big in the FGC now, kind of like cut their teeth on 4. So a lot of people are used to having gotten good at that and put all this work, and now it seems like, well, can't do all the same things, and that's it.
Right, but that's just what it is, really. I mean, I kind of left Street Fighter for KI, and I'm going back to Street Fighter, and it's gonna be a little scary, a little intimidating, but it's gonna be really exciting.
Are you gonna play Street Fighter more heavily, or like how are you gonna divvy your time up between the two?
I'm gonna probably have to juggle it like I did
Yeah.
Ultra.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Ultra's netcode is the one that really turned me off
Do you
though.
think there? Do you think there could be any characters in season 3 you'd want to play?
Um, I'm interested in the guest character because I don't know who it is yet. Um, I've never played Tusk or Kim Woo ever, so I'm gonna have to give them a shot.
Oh, okay, cool.
And Rash was fun. I thought Rash was kind of cool.
Rash was really fun. I might pick up Rash myself just because he's really easy to pick up, and I think he does his job fairly well.
Yeah, he also had the Spider-Man stuff from Marvel's Capcom, and he can also eat projectiles too.
Yeah.
Is there
The
supposed to
boot-
be another guest character in addition to Rash?
Yeah.
Yes.
We don't know who it is yet, though.
And
Brandon just said Spawn.
that'd be awesome. That'd be
Would
so
flip. People.
I mean,
would flip.
Glacius already has a skin that makes him look like Spawn in the face. Yo, give me a vampire character, man. Come on.
Yeah, that would be pretty sweet, honestly.
Yo,
I'm a
Edward
huge
Cullen, let's
Castlevania
go.
fan, so give me some.
They said one of the other characters is gonna get a possessed form, like how Shadow Jago got one.
Yeah, that's if they're thinking of doing another community fund, and I'm pretty sure everyone will be down for that. They're doing a poll online on Twitter. It's either
Yeah, they want everybody to vote.
Shadow Orchid, Shadow Maya, or Shadow Kim Woo, I believe.
Yeah, that's what it is. I'm looking at it right now. Those are the 3.
Yeah, because Omen is basically what makes them into a shadow. It's like a possession type thing.
He's the herald of such and such.
Argus.
That's all I remember.
If you're gonna have this many shadow characters, this is getting Persona-ish.
Aganos. Gargus. That's the name of the.
Oh,
He's the Herald of Gargus.
he was a boss in 2 or something, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of people want both the boss characters back, but Microsoft's just like, they were super cheap and they weren't really part of the roster, and they only had 2 moves each.
Well, make those 2
You know,
moves really
fucking-
good.
An idol.
Hey, I believe there's a great Street Fighter character. His name's Gao. Come on.
Oh God. Here
Only
we
2
go.
moves for 20 years in the game, dog. 20 years.
Hey, man, that'd be the best thing, man. They just give him Sonic Boom, V triggers, you get Flash Kick, baby.
But I'm saying, look how popular he's been. He only got 2 moves. So look, those guys are ready. They got 2 moves. They're already
Hey,
in
man,
perfect
he has
position.
the double America tattoos. He has the comb win pose. Like, come on.
So is that what's necessary? Just add an American tattoo to Idol, and he's set. He's set. 2 moves is more than enough, dude. It's been proven.
It is true though. You got me with that. I can't-
Ultra Arcade asks, will you win Kayak Cup?
Hey man, I'm definitely gonna practice for that. If I do win, dude, I wouldn't even know what to do with myself. But I'm really excited for that. I'm really excited for what's to come, what's to happen at the event itself, because that's all I've been thinking about.
Are you
And
gonna
then,
be able to? Are you gonna make it out to Winter Brawl? Because I think Winter Brawl is like 2 weeks before the KI Cup.
KI Cup. I'm sorry, Winter Brawl is February 26th to the 28th.
Oh, okay.
I'm registered for KI and Street Fighter 5, and it's my birthday that weekend.
Nice.
Yo, Brandon just said the guest character is going to be a Shadow Base.
Dude, black version of me, can't wait.
or Shadow Bass. That's actually, I thought it was Bass because the first time I saw you in tournament, the commentators kept saying Bass. And I was like, all right.
Well, it's because CVS too. Their best
Okay,
player is
so-
Bass.
I guess I've answered this before, but I will say it again. It's supposed to be pronounced bass, but I've always said bass since forever. Reason why that is,
You're part of
I'm
the
the
problem
biggest
then, dude.
Mega Man fan ever. I love Mega Man. I love Mega Man. I love Zelda. I love Castlevania. Bass or Bass is my favorite Mega Man character. He's basically Vegeta. And when you play Mega Man 8, the dub is really bad, and they call him Bass. It's exactly what they call him as. And I'm just like, oh shit, I've been saying it right the whole time. That's great. So
Was
thank
it
you.
supposed to be Bass before?
It's supposed to be bass because Mega Man is a game full of musical references, and his dog's name is Treble.
Oh, okay.
But me and along with a lot of people do call him Bass because of that. So thank you, Capcom of America. Now no one knows how to say my name right, and I just say yes to both.
You can
Yes.
change the world. You can change the world, dude. But yeah, like I don't know how closely you followed like CVS two, but one of the best players for that is Bass, spelled like I believe it's spelled the same way too.
Oh,
And
nice. I think I've heard of him before, actually.
yeah, so like I think a lot of people probably have that, and he's Japanese too. So it's like with that translation thing for Mega Man you just said, like we'll probably have that in our heads already.
Right. So Texas, most of Texas calls me Bass. Most of the West Coast also calls me Bass. The East Coast, for the most part, calls me Bass, which is funny because I never intended any of that to happen, but it works. And I just say yeah to both because why not, right? And then, like for the people that do follow Mega Man, instead of saying either or, they just say Forte. 'Cause that's a Japanese version of his name, and that's about that. And then, as a joke, people just call me UA Fish, which is fine. I'll take that too.
His name could
What?
potentially be UA Butts, actually.
Yes, there's
don't-
actually there's a
forget
petition
to go and
right
sign
now.
Wow,
500,
there was
500 signatures, and I have to rep that for a minimum of 2 weeks, maybe even more. We got Yipes on there, we got Coach Steve on there, and we have a bunch of other people that are signing it.
Link that to me. It'll be in the interview.
I'll do that. I'll find it for you, and I got you. I've also tweeted it out, and I'm pretty sure Brandon shared it too.
All right, I'll find it.
well, the very first time I heard that, I had a faint hope that it was a reference to sea bass. Dumb and Dumber, kick his ass, sea bass.
He's nasty, man.
But I love my name because people get really mad. Like, even in Halo or like Street Fighter when I play online. Because Killer Instinct, you don't really get rage messages. Street Fighter, you always do. Like, that's just always going to happen.
Oh,
Like, I'll have this one guy, like, cursing me out, just like, I lost to a fish. And I'm like, yeah, you did. It's crazy.
dang, if that's the most offensive one you got, you're pretty lucky on XBL.
I know.
Oh, no. There's been a lot. It's just, I'm watching myself. I like to present myself properly. If you ever see me in person, though, I say a lot of really bad things, you know, Donald Trump, things like that, et cetera, et cetera.
Bass. I'm sorry, Bass. Bass. See, now you got that in my head, and I'm gonna start saying.
It's stuck now, man.
Yeah, Bass, the Donald Trump of the FGC.
Don't do that. I'll make all the Smash Brother players build their wall, and then, you know, you're not allowed to cross it. Yeah. Shout out to the Smash Brothers players, guys. You know,
Yeah, you just made a fan
it's not
of
a,
Paul
it's
with
not a
that
fighting
comment.
game. I'm like, dude, like everyone plays it. Just leave it alone, man. Everybody has their community. I mean, I'll never understand that. That's one thing that the fighting game community has to grow up on because I don't get it. Just like, yo, you Killer Instinct, that's a dead game. I'm like, more like you just don't like it, so don't play it. It's fine. Like you don't see me like Mortal Kombat's trash, even though it is. But Mortal Kombat's trash. Oh my god. I hope Ed Boon and everyone dies now in a fire. Like, no, dude. If you don't like the game, just don't like it. You don't have to support it. I'm not forcing you to play my game. Just play the game. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Like me, you ask me what games I like. I will say Street Fighter. I will say Killer Instinct. I will say Smash Brothers to a certain extent.
Dang, now you just made an enemy of Paul, one of our regulars on here. He's the anti-Smash guy.
Oh man.
I mean, come on.
Get
you know,
good,
there's,
right?
There's
I
two
mean,
guys fighting each other. We're gonna split hairs here. It's a fighting game.
That's my answer. You either support it or get good. I mean, what do you want to do? You're playing Street Fighter 5, but you came from Street Fighter 4 and you're losing in an easy game, quote unquote. So get good, man. Stop.
It's like the broken tier shirt with 4 lines, but the last one that isn't crossed out is adapt.
Yeah, that's I love that shirt. Like,
Oh, I have that shirt.
Lucky man. I'm gonna have to get it or something, or find
I
it.
mean,
on
that's the
eBay.
name of the same of the whole game, isn't it? It's just adapt. I mean, you know, adapt or die, adapt or lose, whatever.
I only didn't like that shirt because the most people I saw wearing those shirts were the people who were like, "Oh, this character is fucking broken. This is
Yeah,
bullshit." So
Like, what are you doing? Like, stop being bad. Stop being bad at life. Like, not even the game. Just stop being bad. But yeah, you know, there's always gonna be that guy or guys or girls or whatever. You know, there's always gonna be a heavy load of that. I don't know if you're part of the group, but I'm part of the Street Fighter Network SF5 group on Facebook or whatever, and I have to ignore like most of the posts there because it's always like, oh my god, like this game's broken, this game's dead already, it didn't even come out yet. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, You have enough time to type that out, really?
Yeah, I heard. I had to turn off notifications there.
So no matter what, no matter where you go, it doesn't even have to be fighting games. It can also be like shooters or whatever, what have you. You always have those people. Just let them do their thing, man. It's whatever. Not gonna affect you. For a perfect example, Combo Assist just came out. It's similar to Easy Mode in Marvel vs. Capcom. Combo Assist is in Killer Instinct now, and it's targeted to beginners and casuals. And you have people like, I hate the fact that they added it. I'm like, you're not even using it. What are you doing? Like if you lose, okay, if you lose to someone who just picked up KI that has no idea what they're doing, but Combo Assist is on, then maybe you should, take a look at your fundamentals real quick, because
Get good.
yeah, you shouldn't be losing to a beginner then, right?
Well, I remember that was one of the things that about cross Tekken that came up. Well, first off, there was the ABC combos. That you could do, which people just assumed that's how high level play was going to be. Nobody did links or anything like that. It's just going to be ABCs. And secondly, it was the gem system, which take it or leave it on that. But people thought that auto block gems were going to be used in like tournaments and shit.
Yeah, like people automatically find the negative, and I'm like, why don't you look at the positive? Like me, I didn't like gems, so I never played with them. And the tournament I did enter, gems were banned. But even with gems on, like it still did things, like a power gem, like oh shit, more damage, less timeouts. But then you had defense gems for turtlers, and it's just like, all right, it changes the game a little bit.
I mean, once you got rid of the fact that once they made a tournament standard of you had red, blue, and yellow gems, and you can just choose this, and it has a pretty tame effect, it added a little bit of customizing your playstyle to it without having to have people log in and spend 10 minutes customizing their figure. So at that point, it was pretty much null.
Right. It's just people like to hear themselves. Even top players, and we all know who they are. I don't have to say any names. There's top players from every community. They exist, and they're like, all right, we all know that you complain a lot, and for you, that's your persona or that's what you're known for. But in reality, for people that follow the game, it's just like, dude, like you're a joke. Like people make fun of you, and it's your own fault. That's not cool, man. I don't want to be that guy. I want to stick to who I am. Auto block was dumb though. I'll give that.
He just put in right now that it was dumb. I don't remember that ever being a part of actual tournaments or anything.
No, hell no. No one would ever use that, honestly. And it'd probably be banned. Like Combo Assist, in my opinion, now that I've seen it, because it's still in beta, it should be banned in Killer Instinct. Because in the hands of a skilled player, the way it works, you just press one button over and over again, and you can do linkers, and if you delay the button press, you could do manuals, you could do option selects, all with one button. So from what I've seen, it should be banned from tournament play, because in the hands of a skilled player, you can do all that. But it is targeted for beginners, newbies, people that don't know what option selects are. Like option select, what is that? The pause button? I'm like, yeah, that's basically what it is.
That's one thing, I guess, with the new KOF 14 that they put in auto combos in there, which I never played Persona. I don't know if you do, Greg, but they kind of work similar to like where if you just press jab a bunch of times, you get like a little thing. And they released that info before they showed an actual demo. And they showed an actual, like people were using it in actual demos in live play. And it's essentially you get like a 4-hit jab target combo that like knocks down. Like that's it. And it does like no damage, but it's just for something that like new players can do. You can combo it into a pretty scaled super, and that's about it. Like it really doesn't affect high level play whatsoever, but just gives like newbies something to do.
Yeah. I played Persona for a little bit. It does have that those combos, which those are pretty cool. Rash and Killer Instinct does the same thing. I'm pretty sure he's gonna keep that even after launch. You just press like the jab button over and over, and he does a combo. He'll even use meter if you press the jab button long enough.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't really play Rash that much, so I didn't even know that.
Yeah, you just press the jab button over and over, and he does the same combo. And if you use it as an anti-air, it'll even recapture them too and bring them to the ground. So it's super easy mode.
Oh, he does the I'm assuming the Battletoads combo, similar to how Guy has his Final Fight stuff, etc., etc.
Yeah, it's exactly like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
I know you said audio cues are a big thing in KI.
Yes.
Let me. This is. It's just a audio transition, but like, I'm like a music guy. Like, I make music and stuff, so music was always a big thing for me. And
Nice.
KI1 especially, like the music in there was like, I liked it, amazing. I loved the little remix CD they did too, Killer Cuts or whatever.
I still have my CD actually.
I lost it because I was a bad kid, but but yeah, like is the music in the current version? Because you kind of broke my heart. You said Windows 10 is necessary for PC because I was waiting for PC, and I'm like, well, I guess I won't be playing it then.
What Windows do you have?
What is it? Vista? I think I'm on that, right? Is that it? The one that comes after 7?
You're on Vista?
I don't know.
Vista's
Vista's
before
like
7.
back then, yeah.
Then whatever is after 7 then, or something.
8?
8?
Your Windows 8?
Maybe it's
If
that.
you're on 8, you get a free copy. Everyone who has Windows 7 or 8 can upgrade to 10 for free.
Yeah, that's what I did.
All right. Well,
Guess you're playing with us then.
There's some stuff. We will talk about this off the mic, but I mean regarding that.
Oh,
But
that pirate guy.
like, but yeah, the audio. The how's the music in KI though? 'Cause
I love it. It's so damn good. Mick Gordon killed it for season 1 and season 2. My favorite KI tracks from the old ones were definitely Ripter and Glacius. Like, dude, I'll blast that right now. I'll be jamming it. But for the new one, I really love Orchid's theme, and because it's like similar to like dubstep electronica, but it's also pays homage to the cheesy '90s one that she had. And I really like Arias. It's all drum and bass.
Yeah.
But
I will say,
that,
I did really
that
like
that
the
limited me
music combos.
to like the top 2 for me. But other than that, like I really like all the music. Like Spinal's music is awesome. There's a freaking choir in it. You have Jago's music too. You have who else is pretty good that I like? I like Maya's a lot. They grew on to me. I didn't like it at first. You got TJ with the 90s hip hop like esque into it. I like that too. So you're definitely not going to be disappointed. And also, there's a lot of audio cues in the game itself. So if you've never played Killer Instinct, you basically remix the song as you play. So if you do a combo, a certain part of the song will play. If you're playing footsies and nothing's happening, the song will slow down. If you do a combo breaker, it'll remix the song. If you do a counter breaker, it'll remix the song. You'll pretty much never hear the same song anytime you play.
that's pretty badass. The game pretty much plays with what it adapts to you.
Yes, and I thought that was freaking awesome because I used to play the piano a lot back then when I was little, and I was always into music. Period. Like so, it's what I usually do. I'll just listen to music and just chill out. But I was just like, oh my god, am I changing the song? And it's just like, yeah, it's what you do. It depends on what you and your opponent are doing. And then when you do your ultras, everyone has their own musical theme to it.
Yeah, I thought the music combo thing was really cool.
Yeah, like I remember when I first did an ultra, my friend was like, "What the hell was that?" And I'm like, "It's an ultra combo." He's like, "Yeah, but it was musical." I'm like, "That's just part of the game." So yeah, if you're really big into music, KI is definitely for you. And if you were to sit down and actually listen to the tunes, you'll definitely find a favorite for sure.
Yeah.
That's what's up. And to
Also, I
defend
think for,
myself
like-
right there real quick for the upgrade thing, without getting too into it, yeah, like plugins are a big thing for music people, and we try to avoid OS upgrades for as long as possible unless you kind of really need to, you know, because then
Oh,
things
yeah.
don't work, you know, like so like yeah, that's a big hole.
You're talking about like Pro Tools or something?
Yeah, any of that, you know, DAWs and stuff. So it's like, man, unless I need to do this, you know, there's no need to do it, you know. So,
Well,
I'm
if you
pretty
can,
sure they should work the same. Like I
They
did
should
for.
work.
I mean, I use Cubase. It still work the same.
yeah, they should work, but go ask anybody who was a Pro Tools guy and ask them history with upgrades. And
well, do your research first. But if you do have Windows 7 or 8, you do get a free upgrade. Like, I remember I came home one day and it was like, "You want Windows 10? Click now." And I'm like, "What?" And then bam, Windows 10.
And as of like last week or a few days ago, the whole season 1 roster of like KI is free to play. You don't even have to pay.
Actually, it's even better than that. You get the Ultra Combo Edition. So not only do you
cool.
Yeah,
You get
so
the accessories and everything.
you get all the accessories. You even get KO1 Classic, and you can play that too, and that also has online to it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So maybe one day I'll pull in Aladdin and brave the whole new world, but we'll see.
And for the people interested for the KI Classic, it's the arcade port. It's not the Super Nintendo port. It's the better
real
one.
thing, the real thing.
Yeah.
All right, and then the last thing.
Who are you like? I have one last KI question, I guess, since the World Cup and everything's coming up. What players concern you the most? Like, are you like the most worried about, or characters even?
Players, I can really only think of Rico. Everyone else, I've played before, and we go toe to toe. But Rico's always like a hardcore challenge. Like he's just so damn good. But then again, honestly, just the way the game works, there's so many good players out there. I can't really just name Rico.
Yeah.
Everyone there, the top 32, it's gonna be Capcom Cup basically. Everyone's a threat. There is no easy way out. That's for sure.
Because of the way the game is built, yeah.
The way the game is built, the way the players play the game, and etc. Like everyone, I'm gonna have to play everyone just like how I play everybody in any tournament. I have to give them the benefit of the doubt that they're a threat.
Yeah.
When it comes to characters, because I main Spinal, I normally fear Thunder. I fear Wolf. I fear a good Orchid could be a problem, and maybe even like an Aghanos with chunks because the armor slows down everything.
Yeah, I don't understand how you would get past the armor with like all your single button moves and like everything.
It's literally all whiff punishing and teleporting in during a whiff punish.
Okay.
But I'm not limited to Spinal. I do play Cinder. I do play Jago, and I did pick up Shadow Jago. He's fun. I'll be practicing. Hopefully, I don't take it too easy on myself because that's one thing too. Ironically enough, all the tournaments I've won, I didn't really practice when I played. I was taking a break from KI actually. But it worked out for me. You know, it keeps me more relaxed, and I get to enjoy other games with like my other friends. Because like a lot of my personal friends, they don't play fighting games. They all play Halo. They all play Call of Duty, things like that. I'm the only fighting game person here, unless I go to like a friend's house in like Jersey City somewhere, and they're all like FGC related. And I'm like, all right, I could play fighting games with you guys.
Yeah. It's kind of weird when you take a break and you can actually come back and feel stronger than you ever were before.
Yeah, it feels in my opinion, it feels
mindset.
brand right. It refreshes it. Everything feels more like crisp. It feels brand new again. Like damn, like that one game felt good, and then you just keep going, and there you go. Because that's another thing too. A lot of people, even in the KI community or even Street Fighter, a lot of people get down when they lose and stuff. They're like, "Yo, man, I've been training for like 3 weeks straight," and I'm like, maybe you burned yourself out, dude. Like sometimes you train so much you don't even have fun with the game anymore. You get frustrated.
Yeah, it's a big like psychological thing that. The more enjoyment you're having, the better you will inevitably play because you'll both train better and get your mind more into it.
Right. And me, I'm a gamer at heart, so like I like playing Pokemon. When I stream, I do stream Mega Man sometimes. 'Cause I love Mega Man. And if you ever see me on the Xbox One, if I'm not playing KI, I'm playing Halo 2 at the moment because I destroyed Halo 5 already. So yeah, I'm always doing something different with myself. Or hey, you want to go out? You want to party? You want a beer? I'm like, yeah, and I'll leave. So it's not like I live on KI. I like streaming it because it's fun. I like the audience. I like talking to my friends that don't live here and stuff. And yeah.
Do you ever have any like non-FGC games that are like your primary, besides like what you just mentioned? Like you'll take a lot of time to play off those games.
I have to catch up on Pokemon. I have Omega Sapphire, I believe. I forgot what it's called. Something Sapphire. And I used to play competitive actually. So I've been really lazy with that ever since Majora's Mask came out.
It's a really awesome game to play competitively.
Oh yeah, 100%. If you guys don't know that, then
I never understood how it works.
People like say whatever you will like about competitive Pokemon play, like whatever. That game is all reads and fundamentals. Like it's all that game.
No,
is.
Dude, like no
matchup
bullshit.
knowledge.
It's exactly that.
That's all
Like
I
I
get. It's
love it because
ridiculous,
you
dude.
look at Pokemon, you're just like, oh, the Ash Ketchum, little kid game, and then you play it like hardcore, and you're like, oh my god, the numbers, the reads, everything, like it's so good.
Well, I mean, I assume most people who don't play in the FGC assume the same thing about Street Fighter 2, like
Oh, they're
Blanca
just
the Crazy
mashing
Guy and
buttons.
Ryu and
But yeah, everything has its core, and when I found out Pokemon had a real meta into it, I believe it was in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. When I first found out, I was like, "What?" And then I started actually practicing it, and I'm like, "Dude, this is so much fun."
I'm
It's really
assuming
good.
because you said you weren't a PC guy, you never played any of the big, I guess like esports PC games.
Nah, the only PC game I ever touched was back in high school. I used to play Ragnarok online for a bit.
Ragnarok, damn, that's bringing a real back.
Yeah, that was like the only PC game I'd be like, oh, I'll play that, and then that's about it. I never really owned a PC. I used to either borrow my brother's or I used to have a laptop, but that's about it. And then I finally have a PC now because I figured, hey, instead of streaming on the Connect, I want my audience to enjoy my streams in better fashion. So I built a PC, and now I stream through this.
You didn't miss too much, man. I wish I could have gone back and taken back all that time I spent playing StarCraft online and realized I would never be that good at that game.
Hey man, as long as you had fun with it. One of my best friends loves StarCraft till this day. That's all he watches.
Oh, I love that game, but man, in Brood War back in the old school BattleNet days, as an American player, you always had that nightmare when you joined a lobby, game started, and you saw your opponent typed in gibberish characters. Like, oh, fuck, this guy's Korean. Like, shit. Fucking FF surrender, man. Come on.
But I'm still relatively new to the whole esports FGC. It's only been literally 1 year. All I gotta say is, try your best, enjoy. Obviously, like you don't want to go to a tournament or anything and just be stressed out that you're gonna play bad or there's a chance of you losing. Like there's always gonna be that chance of losing. You're not gonna win everything. You're gonna go. You're gonna have fun. You're gonna meet people that love what you do, and if you're nervous about your first major, just go for it, man. My first major I went 0-2, but I had mad fun. And then my next major was Evo, and bam, top 25. Like, you never know until you try. Like the fact that I'm part of Ultra Arcade is still mind blowing to me. I would have never imagined, but I took a risk, and maybe sometimes you got to do that too. And it's not like I live, breathe, and choke on KI. I over the years, I've done so many things. I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh. I played Pokemon. I used to play basketball. I used to play soccer. I hang out with my friends. Like you don't want to like just think, oh, I'm gonna sacrifice all my time and day in like this one game because that's the only way I'm gonna get good. Like no, you're gonna enjoy your life first. Get your priorities straight.
Yeah, and especially like if you put that much in, you can't really come to enjoy the game anymore. And if you're not enjoying what you're doing, you're not going to get better.
Exactly. And if you're not enjoying what you're doing, then you're just not going to be happy, period, even if you are successful.
Yeah, I mean, there's no point in, doing it for any other reason that besides that you enjoy it.
Exactly. No, but I do want to thank you guys for the opportunity. I had a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I didn't know what I was getting myself into today, but I'm the guy that wings it. And I must say, there's definitely a very interesting and fun 2.5 hour conversation I've had with you guys. And if I were to meet you guys again someday, that'd be great.
Probably at KI Cup, we'll probably all be around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, we'll definitely, like, all of us will be there.
Yeah.
I'll be the guy.
Yeah, dude. It was good talking to you. Like, good luck at KI World Cup and everything. Keep repping, like, UA. I know, like, all the guys at UA pretty much, like, really like what you do and stuff. So,
thank you.
Even all the Street Fighter players and all the guys who aren't on here right now, they all like appreciate it. So keep up everything that you're doing, man. Everybody, the community really likes you. You're a cool guy. So
thank you
for sure.
so
no
much.
No pressure, but you make us look good. So just keep doing well, and we'll still like you.
Well, hopefully I could bring that vibe and energy to Street Fighter 5. And yeah, if you want to see more of me, I do have my own Twitch channel. I also stream for Ultra Arcade now, so you'll catch me on their Twitch as well.
And also you mentioned you do it on Saturdays, right?
Yes. I was supposed to do it yesterday, but I kind of got caught up on things. So Brandon, I love you. I'll make it up to you, I promise. Yeah. You can follow me on Twitter, YouTube, all that stuff. I have a Facebook if you guys ever message me about anything. I'm the guy that's pretty open about everything. I like talking to people. You ask me if I like Pepsi or Coke, I'll say Pepsi, and that's fine with me.
You like Pepsi?
Yeah. I'm sorry. That's me an enemy right now.
Yeah.
All right, Marcus left the conversation.